This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Place to Be Nation pop experience. Welcome back. She's giggling already. Here we go. Anyway, welcome back. This is another fantastic, apparently very giggly episode of Belle's Books. I am your co-host Miranda, and of course I am with my always lovely, beautiful, fantastical, magical friend Bianca.
Hello. Why did you say pop like that?
I don't know. That's what came out. If I'm not mistaken, when we first changed the feed name, we used to have someone that would do that. I must have been channeling them. Yeah, I'm not mistaken. We used to have someone when we first changed the name that would go, Pop Experience.
Whatever works, I guess.
Hey, I got Buddy's attention today, right?
Oh, man. I'm crying already.
Well, we probably will be crying today, but...
That's a later Bianca problem.
Right?
Okay.
Problem. Because now we're going to talk about book news and social media updates, and for once, knock on wood, there's nothing in here to be angry about. Because we've had some where we're like, whoo, Lordy.
We're like fuming steam out the ears.
Right. I think today is all
Today's pretty
good.
tame.
Yeah, pretty damn good news, book news. And apparently my dog, I apologize in advance, everyone, she has lots of opinions this evening.
I'm not going to make it through this episode.
I'm going to go to make a clip for TikTok, and it's just going to be like 3.5 minutes of us laughing about something.
Just be Bianca giggling. Here's some ASMR.
You know, there are people out there that would pay for someone to just laugh. Listen, I'm not yucking anybody's yum. I'm just saying, like...
Well, it doesn't help that it's been storming literally nonstop for 2 days. So we went to a friend's house last night just to get out of the house, but we spent all of today and just yesterday morning just cooped up in the house because it was storming. So I think I'm going like a little what do you call it?
Stir crazy? Yeah,
stir crazy. But anyways, we got some exciting book news, guys. Alex Astor has announced that the third installment of the Lightlock series will be coming out November 12th. It is called Sky Shade, and I already love the cover. It is absolutely gorgeous. I can tell it's going to be from our Reputation girlies. It's got a green snake encircling like I don't want to say a globe, and I don't know what I would call it. Maybe an orb. No. But it has like a galaxy in it. Love it. 10 out of 10. Of course, I loved all
Reputation because you explained it to me. We have a book chat where I think everyone but me is a Swiftie, and they'll be like, one of you guys will be like, "Oh, this is giving," and you'll say the name, and I'm always go. And Bianca's she's ahead of the game now, but when we first started this, I was always like, and what's that mean?
I just need to make you like a cheat sheet.
You do. I need a cheat sheet. That way when you guys go, especially when we're talking about Rebecca Yarros, like I know we may name drop her like once a pod anymore, and I don't give a crap. But every time you guys are talking about her, and you'll be like, oh, look at what she's writing to today. And I'm always like, can someone break it down for me?
Well, hey, yesterday she posted that she was writing to Florence and the Machine.
And I love Florence. Yeah.
That was a cool little break. She's never posted something like that before.
No, she hasn't. I shared with you guys the stuff where she was like at a wedding venue. She's like, yeah. She's like walking around,
getting inspiration.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Alex
quick question about this book. Yeah. Quick question about this book. Has she said how many books are going to be in the Lightlark series yet?
I want to say she said 3, but I could just be making that up.
No, you know what? The minute that came out of your mouth, I think I vaguely remember before Light Lark ever came out, her making a comment about it being a trilogy.
Okay.
So I think you're right. But could that change with the popularity of these books?
I don't know. The way the second one ended, I feel like a third book would be like a good culmination of everything. Because I don't see how it could be any more drawn out, basically.
I still need to read book 2. I gave book 1 4 stars, and that's when all that controversy was going on. And I'm like, listen, you just mad because she found out a way to market herself and she got her book out there.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
really
be
what
mad
it
at
came
the
down
hustle.
to. I can't be mad at the hustle. Listen, I will say it every day until I finally write a book. The reason I don't write a book is because of people like that are mean before a book ever even comes out. So I'm excited though. Even though I've only read book 1, I really liked it.
Well, now you need to read book 2 before the third one comes out. That way you can just binge it all.
That's a possibility.
In other good news, Hoboken, surprisingly out of New Jersey, Hoboken, New Jersey has become the first, quote, book sanctuary city in New Jersey. And this is sparked from basically with all the book bans going on in America, quite a few cities throughout the country are getting together and being like, we're not putting up with book bans. And Hoboken is becoming the first one in New Jersey to do it. I think Chicago was actually the first one to be like, hey, we're not dealing with book bans up here.
I think so.
If I remember correctly.
I think that's right. Yeah, it says the idea of book sanctuary city started in Chicago after an increase in books being censored and banned across the country, which you and I actually we didn't participate, but we watched a live stream of our home-ish area, I guess you'd say. I won't say the city name, but you and I watched how ugly some of these people get when they go up there talking about what books should be banned at public libraries.
And just for the one that we watched, there was not any concrete, like, they couldn't say we need to ban it because of X, Y, and Z. They were banning it just because either hearsay that they had heard about it, they hadn't actually read it themselves.
Right.
Which if you want to ban a book, read it for yourself before you go making assumptions about it.
Sorry. I have strong opinions about book bans, specifically the ones that, like, when you're trying to ban, like, I'm trying to think of some of the Mouse, okay? It's a comic book explaining, like, who Hitler was and what happened. It's very well done, very good book. I definitely do not think it should be banned. I actually, when they banned it, I went and bought 2 copies. I was like, trying to ban books like Of Mice and Men and Handmaid's Tale, and that doesn't settle very well with me.
Yeah.
Also, again, it's like to me, it's kind of like we've talked about here. Like, there are books when we go into discussions that you are never going to read. And that's okay, because they're not for you, and you've done your research and you're like, this is not for me. But you don't look at somebody else and be like, that shouldn't be on the shelf.
Yeah, but see, the difference is I do my research. A lot of people don't.
No, they don't.
And that's what kills me.
Google is so easy. Actually, we were just before we started recording, there was something that we were looking up and you were like, to the Google. And I said something about we Google everything. So how hard is it? Anyway, I'll go on a tangent. That could be a whole.
We won't get on that soapbox.
No, that could be a whole episode in itself. That would be multiple hours long.
Well, I did send you something on TikTok, and you were like, "We need to talk about this on the podcast." So
I do.
I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised it's me that wants to talk about it, but I think it's important because, listen, we all know that Miranda reads Bianca No-Nos, or if we want to call them Miranda Yeses, I don't care. Bianca No-No was a joke that now all of our friends in that chat say. But I think what happened is it was my way of describing something to you one of the very first times you asked me about a book, and I was like, oh, that's a Bianca No-No. So if you're not new here, we say that phrase a lot. And it's our phrase. You may borrow it. But you sent me this young lady, Maddie Marie Reads is her handle on TikTok. And apparently she also really doesn't care for the what should be
Spicy,
behind closed
explicit.
doors. Yeah, the spicy scenes. And I can understand that because we have a couple of listeners who have also said, you recommended this book and I liked it, but ooh, the spice, I'm not here for that. And okay, you know what? That's fine. I understand. And that's not again, I don't yuck people's yum. So if that's not for you, that is completely fine. So Maddie here has done what she's called the Cleaned Up Romance Collection and actually just launched as of June 1st. She is going to have a website. So go look her up on TikTok for further information about the actual website. And I will repost her as well on our TikTok. But she is going to have a list of books. She will have a spice rating. And then she will tell you the exact areas to skip in the book. So, for example, I use this one because it's one of my favorite series. And it's one of the ones that she was holding in her hand when she was talking about this. ACOTAR. Which, until you get to book, I think 4 or 5, there are spice scenes, but not as many as there are later on. But she's going to tell you what pages to skip. And if you didn't want to skip, maybe you're okay with a little spice. She's going to tell you how many spicy peppers that book is so you can make the decision of if you want to skip or go ahead and fully read the book. And I thought that was fascinating. Kind of like the thing I told you guys about last time where Audible, if you don't remember from last episode, Audible now also has an option. You can't do it on the app. And I apologize. I think I said last time you could do it on the app. You have to actually log in to audible.com in Safari on your phone or your laptop or something. And there's a little check mark where if you are like me and you want to see those books, you need to go uncheck it. Or if you don't want them, you need to make sure it is checked for you. So she's kind of doing hand in hand what they're doing. And I think that's really neat.
I love it.
Yeah, because now maybe there are books that people otherwise wouldn't have picked up because they're like, oh, those scenes are not for me. And now they can skip over them.
And maybe that will actually help me read some other books, too, that maybe I would have skipped over.
I was wondering if there were any that maybe you might be willing to come back to or reconsider if that was removed for you.
Yeah, I'd be open to it.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're always open. But you may look at the list, and I don't know how many she's going to have when she first does this off the bat, because my understanding is either she's reading them herself, or maybe she has a team of people. But either way, it's highly fascinating. If you're on the TikTok, go follow her. If you're not on the TikTok and you would like more information, just send us a little message, and I'll find the link for you.
And now we're going to talk about some adaptation stuff that we're excited about. One, this is top tier for me. The Woman in Cabin 10 is officially optioned with Netflix, and it's going to be starring Keira Knightley.
Yeah, I think she's going to make a great actress for that spot.
I'm super excited. That's probably my favorite Ruth Ware book.
I would agree.
I've read quite a few of them. That one's pretty up there.
I don't remember how many I've read at this point, but I will say, since we're talking about Ruth Ware, there's never been one I didn't like.
Yeah, they've all been good.
Yeah, I have enjoyed everything that I've read of hers.
Let me pull up her books real quick. Because they had one about the key, was the Turn of the Key.
Turn of the Key. I have not read Turn of the Key.
Let's see. I've read The Woman in Cabin 10, In a Dark, Dark Wood, Turn of the Key, One by One, and The Lying Game. I don't think I've read It Girl. That's one of her newer ones.
I have not read It Girl. I need to read Snowflakes, 0 Days, The Lying Game, The Death of Miss Westaway, and The It Girl.
Oh, yeah, I've read Miss Westaway. So, yeah,
I thought you
I'm
had.
missing 2 of them. Yeah.
But yeah, I highly recommend all of her books. She is fantastic, especially if you're into that mystery thriller kind of
Yeah, she's definitely thriller. Like
suspense.
some
Yeah.
people do like thriller horror. She's more thriller mystery.
Yeah, she's thriller, mystery, suspense for sure. I don't think she's not horror. She's not Grady Hendrix horror thriller. She's mystery for sure.
Yeah.
So
everyone go read Woman Cabin 10, and then you can watch the movie with Keira Knightley. You're welcome. Your life will be changed forever.
Does it have a? It's just been it's not been optioned. It's full on gonna happen, right?
Yeah. I don't think they've started filming yet because I think they're still casting other characters.
Okay, I thought so, but wanted to be sure.
Yeah. Which Ruth Ware is actually going to be a writer on the movie.
Ooh.
Fun fact.
Which sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes they just sit in as like an executive producer and give opinions to the writing. Yeah. So that's kind of cool that she's actually going to take part in the writing.
And then we have My Lady Jane adaptation coming to Amazon on June 27th.
It looks so good.
I forget who shared the trailer in the chat, but we all watched it, and I was like, yep, I will be seated for that one.
Because you yelled at me. You were like, put it in the dock! Yeah, it was me. And like, she didn't even say like...
It doesn't exist in my mind.
I know. You didn't even like say you were excited for it. You were just like, put it in the dock. I was like, are you okay? Yeah, the trailer looked like it's got some comedy, obviously historical fiction. I have not read this book yet, but the minute I watched this, I was like, I must read this book. Apparently it has 3 authors.
Oh, does it? I thought it just had one. It's Cynthia, what's her name?
Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows is what I have showing.
Huh. Okay.
Unless
congratulations to those 3.
Person and she writes as different names. No, this is like I just read a book recently that had like 4 authors, and I was like, what? That's a lot. And it's actually part of a series called The Lady Janies.
Yeah, because the first one's My Lady Jane, the second one is My Plain Jane, and then the third one is Calamity Jane.
Yep.
So if your name's Jane.
The third one is, yeah, if your name's Jane, you're probably getting a story written about you. Oh, book 2 is Jane Eyre.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so those are definitely going on my list. Happening. And then also I noticed just now looking at the author's name, she has another set about the lady's named Mary.
Oh yeah, I see it now. I'm on
Mary
Goodreads.
Queen of Scots. Yeah.
My Contrary Mary, My Imaginary Mary,
which is Mary Shelley,
and then My Salty Mary.
My Salty Mary is
that says upcoming. So maybe it has.
Yeah, it comes out August of 2024.
Okay.
So soon. I can't figure out what Mary this is.
This is real-time research, guys. You're welcome.
Infamous Lady Pirate Mary Read.
Ooh, pirates.
I'm here for it. I'm saving all of these. So I guess that's a new book for you guys to look out for, August 2024. And the way it reads, it looks like you don't have to have read 1 and 2 to go to 3. So, because it's about different ladies.
Yeah.
So there's that. All right.
And then this next one, it goes hand in hand with the book that we'll be talking about in just a few moments. But Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is being adapted by Paramount. I wasn't able to tell if it's going to go to the Paramount streaming service or if Paramount's going to put it out in theaters, but I'm just happy to know that it is working on getting out there.
I think they'll probably wait and see until they get done, whether they feel like it'll be a great theater or just streaming. Because we also don't know, that one could make an excellent television series, in my opinion.
Yeah, because it didn't
say so much that happens.
Yeah, it didn't say movie or TV show. It just says adapted.
Adapted. So it has been adapted, not optioned. We've talked about this before, boys and girls, but optioned is when like it could happen. Adapted means it's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm actually going to look it up real quick to see.
Okay.
Adaptation. Because I wrote that down a while ago. Oh, it says movie. So it'll be a movie.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's probably going to have to be a long movie. Let me just go ahead and say that.
It's being done by the director of Coda, which was an Oscar winner for Best Picture.
I have not watched it.
I haven't either. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Fun facts.
Lots of adaptation for you guys to check out.
Well, we got 2 more to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
There's, I should have looked this up before.
I don't think there was any more detail on this one because you sent it to me. But I don't think there was really any more detail than what was in that video.
I was going to see what, oh, okay. So his name is Mark with a C, J. Gregson. And he wrote a book called Sky's End. It's a like middle grade book, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Middle grade or YA, somewhere around in there. But he has been promoting his book on TikTok and in his school. Like all of his students are super excited. He always posts TikToks about him talking about his books and all the kids in the school having discussions with him about it. And he did a live.
It's so sweet.
It's so cute. It makes me so excited for him and his students because they're like going on this journey together.
Oh, and he has a book 2 and 3, by the way.
I didn't know that. Okay.
3's not out yet, but they're 2 will come out in 2025, and there is a number 3 already listed on Goodreads. So,
but he was able to share in his class, like the announcement that his book was going to be adapted to a movie, and I was like, oh. You're adorable. Like he's like a cute little like history nerd looking guy.
Yes, and you sent that video, and he makes the announcement, and his class goes wild. It's a YA dystopian thriller, by the way.
Nice.
The book watches as an exiled teen enters the selection of 12 trades to rescue his sister from his murderous uncle and take revenge, set in a civilization of islands that float above toxic black clouds. Yes.
That sounds like something you would enjoy.
I know. I think I'm here for this.
So go look up Mark with a C, J. Gregson on TikTok, and you can just scroll through his page. They're all like super wholesome videos.
Oh yeah.
And then lastly, Bridgerton season 3 part 2 will be out June 13th. I am so excited for this. Miranda, I know you have not watched the show yet. You're working your way through the books.
I am on purpose. Yes.
But
I just finished book 5.
The way part 1 ended, I was screaming and kicking my feet. Oh.
Which everyone has told me, even though I haven't watched, everyone has told me this one matches pretty, because people will tell you like, oh, it's okay if you haven't read the books, you can watch Bridgerton because there's several differences. But I have been told that for this season, which season 3 is actually book 4, for this season, they said it matches up pretty well with their actual story in the book. So I think I know what cliffhanger they left you guys on. And I'm like, ooh!
Well, I do know, I don't think this is going to spoil anything since you've read the book, right? On Colin and Penelope. Okay. So in the book,
so if you don't want spoilers, go ahead.
Yeah. In the book, Colin already knows that Penelope is Lady Whistledown.
Mm-mm.
No? See, I had someone say that, and I was like, oh.
He does. Well, do you care if I tell you when he finds out?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so in the book, he doesn't actually find out until, I want to say it's either right before or right after they're married.
Oh. Okay, so then, yeah, I guess they're going to stay true to the book then. I had been told otherwise by someone who had read it.
Yeah. I was about to say, I hope that doesn't spoil the show for you, but obviously we know what happens. Like,
yeah.
Every season, there's going to be a couple, and they're gonna get married and do all the things. So yeah, I'm trying to remember right now because there's this big ordeal, and they end up deciding how they're gonna spill the beans. Basically, I'm not gonna tell you any of this part because it will ruin it. But like, yeah, there's like something that happens where she essentially has to tell him. And then there's something else that happens where they have to decide together if they tell people or not.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't spoil anything.
I'm pretty sure that's how they're doing it in the show. That lines up, so.
Okay. Yeah, somebody else that has read the books, it may have been Hope. I hope. But I think she told me that so far what you guys have watched this season matches pretty closely to their book.
Okay.
Which I still don't understand why we skipped book 3.
I think it's because as the TV show fandom, we wanted the Colin and Penelope season. Like, we were all salivating for it.
Like, even people that had not read the book were like, come on.
It's because their chemistry is 10 out of 10.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, from the first season, those two together were amazing. Everyone felt it.
Yeah. But I feel like a lot of people are really going to enjoy the story of book 3. So I really enjoyed book 1, obviously, which was season 1. It is correct. 2, I think I told you that I hated to say this, but I was a little bored.
I can understand it. Season 2 was not nearly as spicy as season 1, which I appreciated. I felt like it had nothing, like, character development and stuff.
It had nothing to do with that in the book. That's not why I was bored. Because honestly, sometimes the spicy scenes, I'm like, okay, yeah, we get it. You're gonna do this, okay. Like, no, book 2, I just didn't find as interesting.
Wait, is book 2 Anthony?
Yes.
Okay, so that's correct.
Good old Anthony. Yeah, I was a little bored of, that one's called The Viscount Who Loved Me.
Okay.
And that is Anthony's story. And then book 3, which I really enjoyed, was An Offer from a Gentleman. And that is Benedict's story.
I'm excited for Benedict's season.
I know. So,
and then
obviously it is. And then obviously book 4 is when we get Penelope and Colin, which is Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. Book 5 I just finished, which is To Sir Philip with Love. And that is Eloise's story. So they go kind of, well, the Duke and I technically doesn't go in order, but then they kind of start going back in order. You know, they do A, and then yeah,
I wonder why they started with Daphne.
Yeah, they felt like it was, well, it had to do with the time. If you read in the books, the boys don't have anyone yet. Like, she's like the first, even though she's not the oldest, like the older ones haven't met anybody yet. And that's part of the discussion of everything, is like why she needs to get Daphne married. Their mom, who I love, like wants to get Daphne married. So I think that's why, because even the books start with Daphne. And I think Julia Quinn did a great job of that, only because I feel like she introduces the boys so well for you that I don't know if you'd done Anthony first, especially because, like I said, I didn't really love his story. I don't know if you'd done Anthony first, if people would have really, like, stayed with it.
Understandable.
That's just my opinion. And then 6 is what I'm going to start next, and that is Francesca.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we just make our way, because, you know, all the kids are A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah.
H. Yeah.
H.
Yeah. H. I had to stop and think. I was like, H.
Don't forget Hyacinth.
I can't forget Hyacinth, but yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to get into the meat of today's episode.
Can I tell them why we're doing this today?
Yeah?
So, It's June, which means it's Bianca's birthday.
Oh. I was like, did we have a reason for doing this?
Yes, we had a reason for doing this. Oh, my Lord.
I was thinking, like, was there a theme month I forgot? Like, what's going on?
It's your birthday. Boys, oh, my.
Evidently, I need to go touch some grass and get some fresh air, guys.
You need. So we chose this book because we have made it a thing where every month we usually plan our books or book together. And on your birth month, you get to say what we're doing. And Bianca was like, you know what? There's a book I've been wanting to read. And I know you've read it. And that's what I want to do for my birthday. And I said, well, then let's do it. So happy early birthday, Bianca. Let's discuss tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
By Gabrielle Zevin.
I like her name.
I had this book on my shelf since it was published in 2022. I literally bought it the day it came out. And then it just sat there and just sat there and just sat there. And I was like, I need to get to this book because I've heard basically nothing but good reviews about it. You absolutely loved it. So I'm glad that I can finally say I read it. And spoiler alert, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. 4.5.
4.5. Nice.
It's missing the 0.5 because there were just a few parts that I felt kind of dragged.
Okay. Which I have heard that from a few other people, but I gave it 5.
Beyond that, 4.5.
Which I actually gave you guys a quote from this book that stuck with me when I read it. I read this back last year, I think in August. So I think I talked about it in either our August or September of 2023 episode. And I did not go into spoilery detail. So today, however. So I have it right here. Hang on.
I'm hanging on.
As I tell people here, moment. That's what we say. So this is the one that I said, and I think it's when Sam's grandmother is talking to him.
Okay.
And she says, there are no ghosts but up here. And she gestures towards her head. It's a haunted house.
Okay, yeah.
She's talking about
I remember that
how
part.
there's no ghosts in the real world, but in your head, it's a full haunted house.
Yes.
And that hit me. I have never been able to forget that quote. It hit me in just a way that, like, I don't know. And I have a few others that I have saved that we will talk about as we move forward. But clearly today, boys and girls, I know some of you don't like it when we go super in-depth on books, but just so you know, that's what today's episode is. We are going to go in-depth so Bianca can get all her thoughts out and have her birthday wish of discussing this book. So if you are not ready to hear all the things that take place in this book and have it thoroughly discussed, join us back later for another episode and come to this one when you're ready. Okay. You've been warned. We're moving forward. Okay. So let me just say, Sadie Miranda Green, you have died of dysentery. Anyway.
Are you happy?
I'm happy. Do you know how happy I was with her name? I was like, you don't get a lot of Mirandas. Like you don't.
You don't.
And especially as a middle name, I liked it.
So a couple of things about the book before we get too in. It's broken up into parts, and within those parts are chapters. So part 1 will have chapters like 1 through, we'll say 7. And then part 2 starts, and then your chapters start over. It'll be part 2, chapter 1, blah, 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 blah. So on and so forth. This is a pretty lengthy book. It's over 400 pages.
Yep.
And the text is fairly small. So she's a little thick, but she's worth it.
401 pages in the hardcover edition.
So Part 1 is titled Sick Kids.
Mm-hmm.
And, one more thing. There's a lot of flashbacks in this book. So you'll just be randomly, the characters will be doing something, and then you randomly flash back to their childhood.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a little bit to get used to, because sometimes I'd be reading, I'm like, wait, what? And I have to go back and look and be like, oh, we're doing a flashback now. Okay, cool. Got it. So chapter 1, part 1, Sick Kids.
Mm-hmm.
Sam is our main character, and he runs into a girl named Sadie Green at the train station. He recognizes her because he was friends with her as kids when they were growing up in California. Sam is attending Harvard and Sadie MIT. Before Sadie boards her train, she gives Sam a disc with a game that she's designed and programmed on it named Solution. The year is 1995. This book is definitely full of 90s nostalgia, specifically 90s video game nostalgia.
Oh, so much, and I loved it.
So if you were a gamer in the 90s, early 2000s, this book is definitely for you.
What's up?
After this encounter, Sam goes back to his dorm, and his roommate Marks, M-A-R-X. Marks finds the disc, and they end up playing the game Solution for hours and hours. Chapter 2. Sadie met Sam as children. Sadie's sister Alice was in the hospital for leukemia, and Sadie was very bored sitting in the hospital day in and day out. So she starts to explore a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess back in those days, they had a game room for the sick kids.
They still do now, depending on.
They do?
So this is Caden had to go to a couple different testings at like the Children's Ronald McDonald Center kind of thing, and they always have, if you're gonna stay like a couple days or overnight in children's wards, they usually have like a fun room or a game room, so you can like remove them from their horrible hospital room for a little bit and have something to do. But pretty much every hospital that I'm aware of, maybe not like smaller ones like where you and I are from, but in most bigger places, especially where they would be at, they have some sort of like room for kids to do crafts or play video games or something.
That's cool. I didn't know that. So this is very true. So Sadie finds her way to the game room and in the hospital. And when she walks in, this boy is already playing a game. I think he's playing Mario.
Mm-hmm.
And she notices that he's very good. He doesn't talk much. And she's like, hey, can I have a turn? And he lets her have a turn and she plays. And he's like very impressed with her. He hasn't really come across anyone else who's as good at video games as he is. And it gets him to open up a little bit, and they end up talking almost nonstop for basically 3 hours. The nurse comes and gets Sadie. They go back to her sister Alice's room. While Sadie's in there with Alice, a nurse pulls her mom Sharon aside and asks if Sadie can continue to come back to help with Sam's recovery. Sam was the little boy.
Because they noticed. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You're gonna say it. Never mind.
Sam had been in a really bad ar wreck and had basically just like shattered every bone in his foot. He's been in the hospital for months trying to get everything back together.
And he's not really communicating with like anyone. Like he just looks like down and out all the time. Yeah, he's just like he's gone mute, like selective mutism, and Sadie has pulled him out of that essentially in like just that one little gaming session. So they're like, So
the nurse was like, hey, can you get her to come back? And Sadie actually needs to complete community service for her bat mitzvah anyway. So she's like, yeah, I'll do it. But it turns from being just community service to being true friendship. Mm-hmm. The bat mitzvah only required 20 hours of community service. Sadie logged over 600 hours. Sadly, it all kind of comes crashing down, and we'll get into it a little bit later. That's another thing with this book. It kind of pieces things together little by little. So at this point, the reader doesn't know why, but we know that their friendship ends. And it was basically just like a summer friendship that they both tried to cling to, and it just wouldn't work.
Which this happens a lot, I'll go ahead and say. It seems like we have a lot of they're friends, the friendship ends. They're friends, the friendship ends. Like, which I guess in a lifelong friendship like this, as someone who has had a lifelong friendship, shout out Court, you have patches where you're like, it's not that you're not friends, but you just don't, you're in a different spot in life sometimes.
Yeah.
So I guess it's true, but sometimes when I was reading this, I was like, really? Like, come on, guys. Communication.
There's a huge miscommunication trope in this book, all throughout it.
Oh, and you and I both feel so strong. Listen, if you wanted to hear us go on and on and on about communication, go back and listen to, like, I don't know, the first every episode we've ever done.
And this book is also dual point of view, so some chapters are from Sam's point of view, some are from Sadie's point of view. So chapter 3 is going to be another Sadie point of view. Sadie is very lonely at MIT. There's not a lot of women at the time that go there. And the girls that do go there are very standoffish. They're not looking to make friends or anything. They're there to just basically go to class, get a job, get out. In her senior seminar, it's like a video programming class. She is assigned to make video games. For her second one, she created Solution based on her grandmother's experience in Germany. It's called Solution. The main player is working in a factory. You don't really know what you're doing, but you have the options to go ask NPCs questions. And depending on what questions you ask and the answers you receive, it's kind of like choose your own adventure type thing.
Which is fascinating. Did you ever read any of those books, by the way, or play any of those games like that where you, like, based on your decision you make?
Yeah, I read a couple of the books.
Okay. It made me think of that when I was reading it, kind of like that. Excuse me. I know they were really big in the 90s, and I was like, you know what? I was into them. I wondered if you were. So.
And I said it's her grandmother's experience in Germany, obviously dealing with the Nazis and the Holocaust and all that stuff. So you're a factory worker in the game, and depending on how you do it, you can kind of figure out what you're doing for the factory and for the country as a whole. So it's kind of a more morality game of if you keep working in the factory, you're helping the Nazis. But if you stop helping in the factory, then you're not helping your country and you're just a bad worker and you're getting bad reviews. So you kind of lose the game either way, but it depends on your morality standpoint. I'm trying to get back to my notes. I kind of went on a tangent with that. The teacher of the class, his name is Dov, D-O-V. He had created one of the most popular video games ever. Like ever. Pretty much everyone worshipped him. Dov was very impressed with Sadie's game. Sadie almost actually got like kicked out of college for making that video game. A lot of people found it, what's the word I'm looking for? Like not racist, but like just off-putting, I guess. They didn't feel like that she had the right to be the morality police in that way. But anyways, Dov was like, no, you're a great video game programmer. You're going to do great things in life. And he actually like starts flirting with her and they end up falling in love. Yeah.
We're going there. We're spoiling things. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, and I think, because I listened to the audiobook for one of the times I did this, and I think they said his name, like the O with like a like a long A. Like
Dov. That's worse. That's
I know. Listen, he gave me creepy crawlies from the first time his character talked on the page. I was like, ew.
Well, yeah, because you have this like older man teaching like late teens, early 20s.
Yeah,
and then you fall in love with them.
Freshman and sophomore, and whoa. I had a friend that dated one of our professors in college, and I was always like, ew. He was, don't get me wrong, he was hot, but he was like 45 and we were 19. Like, what do we have in common? Boys and girls, the answer is nothing.
Well, it wasn't until they had been dating for 4 months that she found out he was married still.
See?
Dov and his wife were separated. His wife was living in Israel with their son, and they had been estranged for like 10 months, I think, at that point. But yeah, he was technically still married. She even goes on to say she didn't feel quite right being with him, but she loved him, and she was learning a lot from him because, like I said, he was like the it guy in video games at this time.
I think that makes it worse, though, because so she's also, you think about the time that this is, right? The years that this is taking place. Women in video games, it was extremely hard, right? It was a big thing. There's even a quote in the book, and I don't know if this comes later or not, but I have it written down here. But it says, it was as if being a woman was a disease you didn't wish to catch. As long as you didn't associate with the other women, you could imply to the majority, the men. I'm not like those ones either.
Yeah, that's from this chapter. I remember that.
So like, it makes it even more disgusting, in my opinion, because yes, he's older, yes, he's married, and then like he's kind of taking advantage of the fact that like there are not many women in gaming, and he's like buttering up to her like, oh, you're so good at what you do, blah blah blah. Bleh. I'm gonna make that noise so many more times at this time. just letting you know.
So she had actually been over visiting with Dov when she ran into Sam at the train station. Mm-hmm. Right after she gave him the disc and she went on her merry way, she was actually on her way back to California for the Christmas break. Her sister Alice was in med school at UCLA. She and Alice like talk when they're home on break and stuff. And we get another flashback, and it turns out that Alice is the one who, quote, accidentally told Sam about Sadie's timesheet for the community service hours. Mm-hmm. Alice had never really cared for Sam, and she actually said something out of spite about it.
Which, okay, listen, Alice's problem, because that's the other thing, Sadie and Alice grew up completely different economically than Sam did. And I don't know what Alice got up her butt about Sam, but for whatever reason, she, like you said, she didn't like him. So I have a problem with her tattling, but I also really had a problem with, she could have easily, Sadie could have easily have said, hey, because she ends up winning like an award.
Yeah, she got an award for most community hours.
Yeah, because like you said, it's like over 600. So she ends up getting like an award and like this whole big ordeal. And she even kind of like feels guilty about it. But like this could have all been avoided had she gone to Sam and been like, listen, I want you to know you are my friend 100%. But when I first met you, I didn't know you. And I said, would you sign my paper to make this my community service? And she's like, and I just kept having them sign it. And I want you to know that, like, that doesn't take away from you have become my best friend. Like, that could have been so easy. And I know it's for the plot, right? I get it.
Yeah.
But, like, I was mad at Sadie because, I don't know, it just felt wrong. Like, that'd be like me spending time with you, and then as I left, having your husband sign this piece of paper for, like, community service purposes. Like,
yeah.
It's just not right. So, like, if that person is truly your friend, like, wouldn't you just go? Because if I came to you and was like, hey, Bianca, like, yes, I'm going to spend time with you regardless, but I need to, like, this community service for this project I'm doing. No, boys and girls, I'm going to clarify it wouldn't be because I'm in trouble. I need community service points for this project, and technically me spending time with you while you're set qualifies. Like, you care? I don't know. It just could have easily been avoided, and it made me mad at Sadie at that point. And I was like, listen, from a Miranda to a Miranda, get your crap together.
Well, and we're going to
keep out there ruining my name.
We'll keep revisiting this.
We will.
Because there's quite a few flashbacks to kind of this summer, basically.
I also feel like that's something that neither one
But it also
get
shows
over.
how intense their friendship was.
Yes, I agree.
Because this happened when they were like 10, 11, 12, somewhere around in there. And for them to be off at college now and just randomly run into each other on the train station, like, and they recognize each other. Like, think how much you've changed since you were 12.
Right. Oh, for sure. I am not the person I was. Well, in some ways, I am still the person I am at 12 because I finally accepted myself. But in other ways, I am not. So, for sure.
Yeah. But that's how intense their friendship was as kids, for it to still have this thing where she felt comfortable enough just giving him a game she had randomly designed.
Right.
And she hadn't seen him in a decade.
She clearly didn't stop thinking about him or that incident, and he clearly didn't stop thinking about her or the whole incident either.
Yeah. But after that, we learn Sadie goes back to school, and Dov says that he and his wife are going to try to work it out. Sadie had prepared for this scenario, or at least she thought she had.
I don't think I've never been in this situation, but I can imagine, like, even telling yourself, like, oh, I know that he could say this, that you're ever fully, like, you're probably still devastated because this is a relationship that you've put time into, like, and effort and care and all of those things. So.
Well, and she, like, there's like an internal monologue of like, I can handle this. I've got this. I'm like a boss girl. Like I got my big girl pants on. I can get through this. But spoiler alert, she doesn't. Over the break, Sam had sent Sadie an email wishing her well over the holiday break. Several weeks go by and he doesn't receive a response. In the meantime, Sam makes a whole spreadsheet of improvements to solutions for Sadie to go over.
Can I just say, please nobody get mad at me, but do we think Sam's on the spectrum?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, because the whole time I was reading this, that's what I thought. And there were certain things that Sam said that I'd be reading, and I would just look over at my son, and I'd go,
Well, see, I got vibes that they both are.
Very possibly. Very possibly.
Sam, I would say most definitely.
She strikes me as like ADHD perfectionist.
Okay.
Because ADHD presents totally different in most women than people think. So she strikes me as like, because she, as we go forward, she's going to struggle with her emotions and regulating her emotions. And she really focuses and hyper focuses on things. Hence, some other things that we're going to come to. So that's why I think that. It's okay if people disagree or if Gabrielle Zevin says no, but I felt that way, and I really enjoyed her character for that reason, I guess.
But yes, the various things Sam does throughout this book, he's definitely on the spectrum.
100%.
It's never explicitly said, but yeah. So as he's making the spreadsheet, he notices that her address was actually included on the disc that she gave him. So he's like, I'll just go visit her. He shows up at her apartment, and it's apparent that she is not doing well. Her hair is all matted. She smells. She hasn't showered, and she has lost a significant amount of weight. She kind of like just lets him in, says, basically do what you want, and then she falls back asleep. While he's there, he sees a disc labeled Emily Blasters. He takes it and leaves. Then we get another flashback. Sadie actually invited Sam to the bar mitzvah. His grandmother replied that he would go without telling Sam. On the day of, the grandmother is like, hey, you're going to go to this for Sadie. Y'all were best friends. I don't know what's happening, but you're going to go to this. He threw an absolute fit that day and refused to go. Back to current day. This is a fun fact. Sam and Marks were born in 1974, so everyone can get an idea of their age. We get some backstory on their friendship and roommate stuff. Marks is a very well-off person. He's never really wanted for anything. And when he randomly gets assigned Sam as his roommate in college, Marks kind of takes it on himself to become like his caretaker, basically.
Because again, Sam doesn't have like a whole lot of money. Like, Sam's family is a fantastic family. They just don't financially have a whole lot. Like, yeah. Like, it's brought up many times, the difference in, like, Mark's and Sadie and Sam and where they stand, like, socioeconomically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, Mark's will, like, go and buy a jacket wanting to give it to Sam, but he knows that if he just outright gives it to Sam, that Sam won't accept it.
Which
so
I thought that was really cute. That whole, like,
he just buys stuff and then just leaves it laying around for, like, literally months. And then Sam will be like, hey, are you using this? And Mark's is like, oh, no, I forgot about it. And then Sam just takes it.
Which I think Sam figures out what he's doing, but he's like, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah. Sam goes back to Sadie's apartment, even though it's very clear that she doesn't want him there. He keeps going back several days in a row, and he just kind of sits with a book and reads, or he'll play on the computer for a couple of hours. He's just a presence there. He feels like Sadie is the one who needs saving this time. So he's doing for her what she did for him when they were kids. Now we're on to part 2, influences. Sadie eventually starts feeling better, and they kind of strike up their friendship again. And Sam asks Sadie to take the summer and work on a game together. So they want to make their own game. I'm skipping over some not so important stuff.
There are some sections that, like, while I really enjoyed it, I know you said you felt like certain sections drug on. And, like, while you're skipping, I'll say I went to TikTok and put in the name of the book in the search bar just to see what other people said. And there were several people that actually said, oh, this book drug, or, oh, it was so boring. I even have a friend of mine that is a librarian. We've talked about her before. I didn't get her, like, reasons yet on why she didn't like it. But my friend Joy actually said that she found it so boring. She did not like it. So I'm wondering if it's these parts that kind of, like, to some people drag that, like, deterred them from the rest of the book, maybe.
Well, and there's just some stuff, like, it's cool to know, but it wasn't necessary to, like, the core plot of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's, like, a whole backstory of Mark's being an actor, and, like, that's cool and everything, but I don't really need to know that.
It comes up again later, kind of, where they talk about, like, what they really want out of life, but, yeah. I mean, the difference is, when we've talked about this, when you read versus I read, I want every gritty detail, and you're like, I don't need that.
Yeah. So, I forget what Mark's is, like, what he was doing in college, but I remember his minor was in theater.
I think he kind of didn't know, and...
But he took a lot of theater classes just for funsies. And Sadie and Sam go and watch him perform in 12th Night. And the play begins with this shipwreck scene, and that's how Sadie gets the idea for their video game. She gets, like, a hint of inspiration. It's a child that gets swept out to sea and has to find their way home. She was also inspired by a print of The Great Wave, which is an actual art piece. It's actually on the cover of the book if you want to get an idea of what it is. And they decide that kind of art is going to be the art style of their game. So all of this is thanks to Mark being in 12th Night.
Which, it's funny that Mark is in 12th Night, which is a Shakespeare, because Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is also based off of Shakespeare.
Yeah, it's from Macbeth, I think.
Mm-hmm, it is. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look at me knowing Shakespeare.
What?
We get a little bit of backstory on Sam in this chapter. He is mixed race. His dad, George, is Jewish. His mom, Anna, is American Korean. Anna met George in New York City, where she was trying to get some acting experience. And he was working in, was he a talent scout? Was that what he did? He worked for an agency, I think.
Yeah, I think he worked for a talent agency and made lots of promises and things like that.
Yeah, they dated for a few weeks, broke up, and then after they broke up, she found out she was pregnant. Anna and Sam stayed in New York City for quite a few years while George went back to LA. Anna and Sam moved to LA when he is 10 because she claims there's more acting opportunities.
That's not why.
That's not why, but that's what we're told at this point. we get more on that later. And while George is in LA, he's not a present father, like, at all.
And he's rich. Like, he's...
Oh, yeah. He's filthy rich. So they start to work on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Marks comes back as a producer, and they make 15 levels for the game. Marks confesses...
can like fund it, basically. Like,
yes,
they need funding, and Marks is like, well, what else did I gotta do? Like, my dad just throws money at me. Okay, like,
yeah. And then Marks confesses to Sam that he has a crush on Sadie, but Sam discourages it, says, don't go down that road. We don't want to get involved with people we work with, blah, 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 blah.
Which this is described, since you said that, this book is described as the love story that is not a love story.
That is accurate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I don't really understand all the technicalities of this. I am not a tech person, but they basically need this fancy engine to build the video game.
Yes.
And Dov is basically the only one they can think of that has access to said fancy engine that they need.
Yes. So you need the faster, better, bigger engine that can produce better graphics and a good game. And at the time, they wanted the best. And this would have been, I think, like mid-90s, if I remember, based on their time, like their ages, and because they were born in 74.
This would have been the summer of 96.
Summer of 96. So in the summer of 96, you want the best because you want to be the best. And to be the best, you have to have the best search engine. And think about 1996, guys. What kind of games were we playing? Not search engine, but like what was available. So, yeah. That's like the dumbed down way of explaining it. Like, essentially, where the server that your game is saved on and the program that you use to create the game and all the little ones and zeros have to align, and Dov has the best shit, so.
Yep. So Sadie, like, basically sucks it up and goes to talk to Dov. Mm-hmm. The engine is named Ulysses. He agrees to let Sadie use Ulysses in exchange for producer credits on the game. And at this time, Sam and Sadie had been using Marks's apartment while he was gone for the summer, but Marks decides that he wants to move back in and actually help with this, but there's not enough room, so Sadie kind of moves back in with Dov.
Which,
it's again, toxic.
Communication. If she just told the boys why she really didn't want to go talk to Dov, like, you know?
Yeah. Well, she doesn't want to admit what kind of hold that man had on her. Like, she wants to be in control. She doesn't want to think that another guy has control over her. But 2, I don't think she wants to be that vulnerable with them. Well,
I mean, clearly. There's been a lot of years since the friendship and they're rebuilding it. So I think she's trying to fill out where they are. Because this whole book, the whole thing with all 3 of them, it's the power and the complex like parts of friendship. Like, it essentially is watching friends throughout their entire life and like all of that goes with.
Yeah. So they finished the game. I'm going to fast forward. They finished the game almost a year to the day from when they started working on it.
Which is been like, wow. Like,
that's super fast.
It is.
Because I want to say both Sadie and Sam took the fall classes off. I don't think they took fall classes in order to get this done.
Not a full gap year, but they took a break, essentially.
Yeah. And then we get some more backstory on Sam and Anna and why they decided to leave New York City. They had been walking down the street one day, and they saw a woman jump off a building, like basically right in front of them. She survived the jump, but she passed away pretty much on the sidewalk. And Anna,
mom kind of knew her, like in passing in the theater scene. If I remember correctly.
Well, Anna, the mom, went up to the woman and was like trying to comfort her basically in her last moments and was like, "Hey, what's your name?" And she said, "My name's Anna." So they kind of bonded over having the same name.
Yeah, but I think there was something to do in later. She found out like she was also in theater and like she also like, if I remember correctly. I've read this book twice, but I can't remember that part. But I remember this. This was just devastating because I don't know how you come back from that, like witnessing something so horrific, because it describes it that it's like a pretty horrific scene. Like it's not,
and it's something that Sam like basically remembers throughout the rest of his life.
I don't know
like,
how you wouldn't. I mean,
he goes back to that. So that was like another flashback. We're gonna go back to present day now. I say present day in the 90s.
There's a lot of sad in this book, just so you guys know. Like, there's a lot of really great things, and watching their bond throughout the book and how things work is fantastic. But there's a lot of discussion of depression. I mean, we've already seen it kind of with Sadie, where she's not eating, not bathing, kind of thing, and death, and I mean, so there's some triggers, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, remember I said that Sam was initially in the hospital because he was in a car wreck that shattered his foot. Mm-hmm. His foot never fully healed, and he, when we first meet Sam at that train station, he's walking with a limp. But as his story goes on, he's using a cane. So he eventually gets it amputated. Like he has issues with his foot.
Major mobility issues.
Yeah. So Sam falls and hurts his ankle on his bad foot, and he ends up in the hospital for emergency surgery. He doesn't call anyone because he doesn't want anyone to worry about him, but it's been a few days and no one's heard from him.
Honestly, I think that made me worry more if you didn't tell me.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, if I was like, I haven't talked to Bianca in like 5 days, I'd be like, if I hadn't talked to you in 2 days, I'd be like,
hello.
Right? Be like, what is going on? Oh, and then to find out like that you're just like in the hospital somewhere, I would be like, oh my God, are you okay? And then I would be so angry at you because like, come on now. Like, oh my God.
Well, so they finally figure out that Sam's in the hospital. They go and visit him and cheer him up, saying, you're going to be fine. We'll get through this. When Sadie leaves the hospital, she takes Dov their game to play, and they have named it Ishigo.
Yeah.
They started seeing each other again because Dov has officially started the divorce proceedings, so he's going to be a divorced man. We also get some almost Bianca no scenes, like we're edging on there a little bit. Edging. We get some BDSM stuff.
Yeah, but listen, I have a huge problem with this one because I don't feel that both parties were consenting to this.
No, it's one of those things where Sadie was kind of hyping herself up saying, yeah, I can do this, and in reality she can't do this.
So I'm not mad at the author for what she did. She's trying to deeply explain like the hold this man has on her and like some of the things that unfortunately women do go through. Not all women, but a lot of women go through relationships like this. But it made me angry because like clearly she wasn't okay with like, so again, I'm not saying like Gabrielle Zevin, you shouldn't have written that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like, it is a no-no because it's a no-no. Like, no, I was uncomfortable with this one because I was like, you can clearly tell she does not want to be present for this. Like,
well, and it doesn't go into like super deep detail or anything. Like, it'll just be like he handcuffed her to the bed. It tells you what's going to go on without going explicitly into what's going on.
But she also makes it sound like she's not really down for this. And she's worried about being handcuffed to the bed. And, I felt really bad for Sadie in this moment. And I feel like this is where she really should have told the boys, like, I cannot go back to him. Please don't make me go back to asking for help. And, like, she should have never moved back in.
No, she shouldn't have.
And it's not blaming her at all, but, like, I think it just opened it up for Dov to be like, she did exactly, like, she played right into my hand, which I think honestly is what he was shooting for.
Yeah. Well, and during one of these sessions, he handcuffs her to the bed, leaves her on the bed, shuts the door, and he goes out and finishes playing the demo of Ishigo. And it takes him like almost a whole day.
Unacceptable.
That was ridiculous.
That is not. Listen, even if your partner consents to something like that, you crossed a line when you just left her there. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
And he comes back in literally almost a day later saying he loves it. He's raving about the game, like it's amazing. He's like, I love the game and I love you too. And that's literally how that chapter ends. And I was seething. So, on to part 3, Unfair Games. They have 2 offers for the game. One from a company called Cellar Doors that gives them an advance and a contract for another game. And Opus is another company. It's a new gaming... they're coming out with a new gaming computer, and they're all the computers are going to automatically come with Ishigo. They get a huge advance, and they get a contract for a sequel, not necessarily like another game of their choosing. It has to be a sequel, so Ishigo 2. Sadie wants to go with Cellar Doors because she wants the option to make whatever game she wants. Sam wants Opus because it's a huge amount of money. They kind of fight over it, go back and forth a little bit, but they end up going with Opus. Sam ends up doing a lot of the promo for Ishigo. He's the one who goes on tour and does all the press stuff for it. He absolutely loves doing all of the promotion. Sadie did almost nothing on that end.
And that ends up becoming like an argument, which I'm sure you'll get to that. But like, people have to promote, like when you're in a situation like this, like for example, like Blizzard Gaming, who does like World of Warcraft and Overwatch and stuff. If someone didn't agree to be the person, which is usually part of the marketing side, go out and do these like promotions and talks, like we would have never discovered any of these games. So it's like, it has to be done, and they have different strengths, so they're playing to their strengths, but it ends up becoming like a disagreement as well. Again, communication.
So we have a little bit of a time jump. We're going to skip to they've made Ishigo 2, and Sam and Marks are going on tour for the promo of Ishigo 2. Sadie hated making that game. She was not proud of it. She definitely does not want to make a third one, but Sam does. He wants to ride the wave of popularity and keep the cash flow going. Sadie wants to pursue other interests. Just let her creativity flow, basically. They fight, and she leaves and goes back to her apartment. Sam shows up shouting on the street, telling her to let him in. Like, it's like the middle of the night, and he's out there screaming on the street.
My Lord.
So she eventually lets him in because she doesn't want to upset any of the neighbors. He wants to know what are her ideas for a new game if they decide to go that route. Sadie tells him about both sides. Both sides, it was conceptually about 2 different worlds working in tandem. Kind of like Oz and Kansas was the best way to describe it.
Or like Alice in Real Life and Alice in Wonderland is how I was for myself.
That's another good.
It. Yeah.
We also find out that Sam's foot is basically always bleeding now. It's been doing that for quite a while, and Marks finally notices it and takes him to a foot doctor. The foot doctor is recommending amputation, but Sam is putting it off as long as possible.
Listen, I probably would too, just to be honest. Like, I'd probably do everything I could to not have to have my foot amputated.
Well, because I see Sam's point of view. His point of view was, yeah, my foot is broken, but it's still a foot. Like, I still fit in with society. Like, people won't judge me too harshly.
Which I think is also why he liked doing the promotions and stuff, and why he wanted to ride the high of the games, is because people didn't look at him and his limp and his broken foot. They just saw him for this fantastic game creator. So that's just me reading into it. Like, I think
I can see that.
I think that's why his character was like that and was like, I'll do the tour and answer the questions and do all of these things because, people don't look at me for my damagedness. They see this great thing I made.
Yeah. One thing that I haven't really delved into before now is that Marks is also painted as kind of like a player or like a ladies' man.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't hold on to girlfriends for very long. He'll date them for like a month and then move on to the next one.
It does say he's always like very kind to them, and like he lets them. If I remember everything correctly, like he's portrayed as like ladies' man, but it doesn't. He's not a dirty, like he's not a gross person. He's not like. It's like he's never satisfied, and so the grass is greener. The grass is greener.
But he does find this one girl named Zoe. They're together for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually convinces everyone to move to LA with her. And Sam and Sadie are like, no, we don't want to move back to LA. Like, we got out of there. But they realize it's kind of where they need to be.
And the time, yeah, that was the video game scene.
It was like the up and coming place.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, yeah, okay. In my notes, I put, Dove and Sadie break up. Thank goodness.
Oh.
So they finally break up. She realizes how toxic he is. He takes her to the airport and drops her off and is like, you're going to do great things, Sadie. And she's just like, okay. Marks and Zoe pick up Sadie in LA and they go and tour the new offices that Marks has picked out. And Sam meets them there. Afterwards, Sadie and Sam go out for pizza. And then Sadie drops him off at the hospital so that he can prep for surgery the next morning. He's going to go through with the amputation.
Yeah, because that's the other thing is if they're going to LA, the better doctors are in LA and such too. And so that's part of the reason why they also decide to, or I guess we're going to do what Marks wants to do, because the specialist or whatever that's like the best for his foot procedure is there as well. And then also for her, it gets her away from Dove. They don't know that, but
yeah, Marks had kind of played them both.
Oh, he did, for sure.
He had gone to Sam and was like, we need to get Sadie away from Dove. Like, we've seen how he treats her. She's not happy. Like, if we just move across the country, we'll fix this. And Sam is on board with that. But then Marks also goes to Sadie and was like, hey, if we can get Sam out to LA, we can probably get him to go through with the surgery and it'll be better because, we won't be in the Northeast anymore. So there's not going to be any snow and he won't have to worry about all these streets and the cold.
And his family and his family is there, and
so Marks is playing both of them, but they don't realize it.
In this instance, I don't blame Marks because he knew he was being a good friend to both of them. He knew his one friend absolutely needed this surgery. Like it was a big deal because you can't just go around with your foot bleeding 24/7. Okay, you just can't. And they don't know exactly what Dove did to her, but they are surmising. And he's like, we can't get her away from him unless she is away from him.
Yeah. So that night, the night before the surgery, he's in the hospital and he dreams about the night that he was in that car accident. Not only when his foot got crushed, but we learned that was also the night his mom died. Mm-hmm. It kind of goes into details about the car accident and how it happened. I won't go into all that, but just know that same night that he lost his foot was the same night he lost his mom too.
Yeah, he's remembering that. Like this was something he didn't remember if I am remembering correctly. Like this is when he's starting to remember things.
Yeah. The next chapter is chapter 6. I'm going to look at page 174.
Okay.
Sadie kind of has like a crisis, basically. Mm-hmm. I forget how it came about, but she realizes that when she had given Sam a game of something. Mm-hmm. And that game would have had both her contact information and Dove's information in it.
Yes.
And it was when they were playing Dead Sea, because Dead Sea was Dobbs's game that he created.
Yes.
But she somehow, it's very convoluted, but she somehow gets it in her head that Sam had kind of like planned everything out of how it would go to benefit him specifically, and not necessarily what was good for everybody.
Yeah, like she's decided that, like, oh, he saw Dov's information and was like, well, you do this. And then so now she's like kind of having this like breakdown, and she's starting to blame him. And again, if she had just talked to him.
Yeah, it says, had he shown her the game because he wanted Sadie to go to Dov, because he knew she would go to Dov, and didn't it follow that he would have guessed at the Brad breakup she had with Dov, and that Sam hadn't paused, even for one moment, to consider what going back to him would mean for her? How different would the last 3 years have been if Dov hadn't had so much professional and personal power over her? Mm-hmm. So she kind of starts blaming Sam for everything that had transpired with her and Dov.
And there's a lot. It's pretty traumatic.
Like, I'm not going to say I understand where she's coming from, but I get her line of reasoning, but her actions were her own.
I agree with you. And that's why I sometimes think that her character has ADHD, because she overthinks, and she's hyper fixated on this, right? And she has started overthinking to where she has now jumped to worst case scenario. This has to be the truth.
Yeah. And like she spirals so hard in just that little bit of time that she thinks of this when he's going in surgery, and Marks comes and tells her, hey, he's out of surgery. Everything's fine. She's like, okay, cool. She doesn't even go visit him, doesn't check on him. Like, she just mentally checks out.
And of course he's over here like, what the hell did I do?
Yeah, he has no idea. The next part 4, Sadie and Sam actually live on opposite sides of town, and they only interact at work, and they only talk about work. They don't reveal any personal information. They don't talk about their lives. They literally just talk about what they're designing.
And he still doesn't know why, but he's also in this mode of like, listen, he accepted that his foot needed to come off, but he's not entirely accepted that his foot had to come off. Which I don't think I would have either. I still, like, I don't. And I'm with you. I understand her thought process, but at the same time, like, I don't. Because at any point, which I hate, listen, how do I word this? Because I don't want somebody being like, no, it's not that hard to walk away from something.
Well, because it's not like Sam was, like, pulling the strings and treating her like a puppet. Like, she had total free will throughout all of this. Like,
right.
Yeah, he could have encouraged her to do something, but at any time, she could have said no.
But I also think, and I understand, like, the hold that Dov had on her. So, like, I understand leaving was not that easy. I do. Especially when you got people locking you to a bed for a day. Like, it's not that easy. And she felt like a pull to him. And she felt this. I mean, it was an abusive relationship. Like, whether it was physically abusive or not, it was abusive relationship. And her leaving was not easy. However, again, no one knew that that's what was actually going on between the two of them. So I don't know. I think it all goes back to if she had not gone to Dov, would this video game and this success ever have happened? We don't know. But I wish she would initially have looked at them and been like, I will talk to him with you guys, but I'm not doing this because you don't know. I can't be with him again.
Yeah. And I really like how Gabrielle Zevin writes basically the rest of, I won't say the rest of the book. A good chunk of the rest of the book is like we have chapters, but because of the divide that Sadie has put between her and Sam, we have chapters 1 and 1A, 2 and 2A, just to show like how separated they are and how much their friendship is broken.
Yeah, she actually, as the reader, you see the true divide instead of just like hearing that they're having a divide and doing that in your head yourself.
Yeah. They live on opposite sides, like I already said that. Yeah, they live on opposite sides of town. They don't talk. They do eventually start working on Sadie's game, both sides.
Which I love. I love this concept. I love this idea of like the game on two sides there.
And it was I'll get to it. So Sam is out for his surgery for quite a few months. There's a lot of tension building in the office because of his absence. People don't want to make like huge decisions without his input. But it turns out that the reason he's out is because he's starting to suffer from phantom limb syndrome.
Which, oh.
Yeah. It's basically where if you do lose a limb, your brain doesn't register that limb is no longer there. And so it still hurts. It still bothers you. Like you want to move that limb, but obviously you can't.
I have a friend that had his hand removed pretty young. And I remember even in high school, I mean, years and years after he'd have it removed, he would like grab like where his hand would have been and like start to like rub like your hand hurts. And then he'd look down and notice what he was doing and he would stop. And I'd be like, does it hurt? And he's like, I don't know how to explain it, but like in my head, I feel my hand and it hurts. And I can't imagine going through that because like you got rid of it to get rid of the pain and the infection, right? Like, no, it shouldn't still be hurting.
Well, and I read up on this, like your brain is hardwired to know like the different parts of your body. Yeah. So even if you're like missing your thumb, your brain is still going to say your brain is there. I mean, your thumb is there.
They said the only time this doesn't happen, and sometimes it even does happen, but I was reading that, like, unless you were just born without it, and they said even, like, there's a percentage of people even that were just born without, say, the limb or the thumb or whatever, that they still experience it, too. Because, again, your brain is like, I'm supposed to have something there.
Yeah.
Ow.
But, yeah, so Sam is in, like, inexplicable pain. There's not really anything he can do about it. He tries to like do these therapy things
probably
to
like
it.
Physical therapy.
Yeah. They help a little bit, but yeah, he's just kind of left with phantom limb syndrome now.
I can't imagine.
I can't either. Sam does go on a date with a girl named Lola. And it's a girl that he went to high school with, and they had very briefly dated, but they broke up when they both went to university.
I liked Lola.
She was a cool chick. She was very into video games.
Yep.
She was also very into weed.
I'm here for it.
She and Sam had quite a few smoke sessions.
Mm-hmm. Which honestly, I think would be good for someone like him.
Yeah, it does help. He went on to say that it helped him mellow out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They finished working on both sides, and this time Sadie is the one who's going to go on promo tour because this is her game. She wants everyone to know that this was her baby, and Sam wasn't really attached to it.
Which I feel like that's some bitter resentment, honestly.
Oh, yeah, definitely. While I think it's just after the promo tour stopped, Zoe and Sadie, they've kind of become like best friends. And they take some ecstasy together one night.
Which, no, I'm not here for that.
and then they kiss. And then Marks comes out and he's like, hey, what's going on? And then Zoe gets between them and forces Sadie and Marks to kiss. And this is from Sadie's perspective, so we have to take it with a grain of salt. But right. Sadie describes the kiss as going on much longer than necessary, but they were both into it. And that Zoe was just kind of like, la, 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 la.
He kind of always had a thing for Sadie. He told Sam pretty early on. And, you know, Sam obviously has also kind of always had a thing for Sadie, but, like, we just don't talk about that.
Yeah.
We just don't talk about that. You know?
No,
like,
it doesn't exist.
Mm-mm.
The reviews for both sides have started to come in at this time. And they were mostly bad, not because it was a bad game. It's just that people wanted more Ishigo. They were expecting Ishigo 1 and 2 again. They weren't expecting this. Because up until this point, they'd only made those 2 Ishigo games, so everyone was like, oh, we're going to get stuff like that. And both sides was definitely not like that.
Oh, and if I remember when they were talking about the game, like when they're doing the breakdown of both sides, people specifically liked one side of the game more. They liked being in the one world versus the other, and that was a struggle because Sam did one side and Sadie did the other.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second.
Okay, sorry.
You're good. So Sadie gets very depressed. She gets very sad. No one likes the game that she had worked so hard on. She goes home and basically exiles the world, kind of like she did when her and Dov first broke up. Sam once again forces his way into her apartment. They basically have a screaming match at each other. They hash things out. Sadie confesses that the day Sam came to her apartment, she wasn't depressed that she and Dov had broken up. She was depressed because that day she had had an abortion.
Yeah. And that's why
I was
keep
like,
saying, like, things are horrible.
I was like, oh, we're getting heavy now. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of heavy in this book.
And a lot of the heavy is actually near the end.
More, yeah, oh yeah, more of it. I mean, we kind of start heavy with the fact that we have these two sick kids. Sadie's not sick, but I mean, her sister is, and that's why they're there. But like, we start heavy with two sick kids, and then it kind of gets better, and you're like, oh, maybe this is going to be a love story. And then you have a few heavy things, and you're like, oh, okay. And you got like a lot of miscommunication, but it's still not like super heavy. And then we start getting into like what really happened between her and Dove, and then the things that are to come, and you're like, oh my God. I actually watched a girl on TikTok that was like, why did I have to like stop and hyperventilate multiple times throughout this book?
Yeah.
And I was like, that is an accurate description.
True, very true.
I listened to this, but my first go around when I was still working on base in Germany. And we're going to get to a spot where I was sobbing.
Oh,
I
at
know
work. What spot you're talking about.
And I was sobbing.
Well, so at this point, I do want to say it's not just Sam, Sadie, and Marks anymore. Like they've hired other employees. Like it's a for real company. Mm-hmm. They have multiple people, multiple programmers, designers working for them. Two of the more prominent ones that are mentioned are Simon and Ant. Simon is German, and it's pointed out a lot because one, he has a funny accent and he says things, American words, weirdly.
Just think of European accent, heavy European accent is what I was thinking of. As someone that lives over here, that's what I was thinking.
And he had actually come up with the title of their next game, and he wanted to call it Love Doppelgangers.
Which I love this so much.
This is like a comedic relief, basically.
Oh, the Ant and the two of them are hysterical. Like I love these two so much.
Everyone hated that title. They were worried that, quote, stupid Americans wouldn't know what the word doppelganger was. And it reminded me of when Harry Potter came out and they wanted to call it Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And they were like, Americans won't know what a philosopher is. So they changed it to Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah, which I'm like, okay, we could have left it at philosophers. But now it's been so many years of sorcerers that I'm like,
But they eventually changed the title to Counterpart High,
which I like.
It was a cute little game.
Yeah, it was.
Sadie and Sam were not part of making this game. It was just strictly their other programmers, but they did use Sadie's engine to make it. So Sadie was given credit.
Like it's from their company. It's like It's like if people from Blizzard got together and made a game, but they're not technically like Blizzard people. Yeah.
But it was well received by the general public, so the company's success only grew, and they were working on the sequel. Zoe ends up breaking up with Marks. Sad day.
Which we saw that kind of come in, though. I mean,
they were supposed to be going to Tokyo together, but they broke up kind of like on the way to the airport, basically. He drops Zoe off because she's like a model or something, and she had a model gig. And so he calls Sadie and is like, hey, I already have these tickets to Tokyo. You want to go with me? She's like, yeah, sure, why not?
Right.
Another thing is that Marks is Japanese. So while they are in Tokyo, they meet up with Marks's parents. They basically have dinner together. They go back to the hotel room, and Marks tells Sadie that he has a dream. He wants to separate the two towns from the game Both Sides, and the one that was popular was called Mapletown, and he wants to make that an online game.
Which I love the thought of this, and especially as they explain Mapletown more. It sounds like a very cozy Miranda game.
Yes, it sounded kind of like Animal Crossing,
Mm-hmm.
but like you play with other people and you basically just build your own town.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Which I think there is a game like that.
And Sadie knows that it's a good business move because everyone absolutely loved it. Obviously, Sam is in because Mapletown was the part that Sam had worked on, so he's like, heck yeah.
Yeah, it was his, and that was part of the animosity as well. As like I said before, like one did one half and one did the other, and everybody loved Sam's half, and it made Sadie like really question herself. And then again, she went back to that like, I don't understand why people don't like it, and yeah.
But while they are in Tokyo, Sadie and Marks end up sleeping together. They both kind of tell each other this is a one-time thing. We're not going to let it get in between us. I think we all know that that's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
So they go back to California. A few months later at the launch party for Mapletown, Sam notices how Sadie and Marks interact with each other. And he just kind of realizes that they are in love. He just kind of comes to terms with it over these past few months.
Mm-hmm.
But when he realizes that, he realizes how much he truly loves Sadie. And he realizes that he's missed out on being with her pretty much his entire life.
Right.
He goes for a lot of drives after that. He takes a month off work. He accidentally hits a dog, takes the dog to the vet, adopts the dog, and names her Ruby Tuesday.
I loved Ruby Tuesday.
A lot of people actually mistake her for a coyote, where there's one scene where Sam takes her to a dog park.
I loved this scene so much.
Sam takes her to a dog park, and she's just like having a good old time, acting like any other dog. But this one woman...
Just trying to play with the other dogs.
But this one woman starts screaming, "Coyote!" Like having a fit. Everyone scatters. They don't know what's going on. He goes and grabs Tuesday. And he's like, "What are you yelling about?" And she was like, "That's your dog?" And he's like, "Yes." And it's just this whole thing.
People do that a lot here. We have a lot of dogs that they look like they're actually wolves. Over here, and like you see them all the time, but I have seen people like literally freak out and like walk away, and even though they're speaking another language, you know what they're on about, and you're like, the way that dog just sits and stays by its owner, that is not a wolf. Like,
yeah,
but it's oh my god, it's so funny. I love that scene so much, and I was like, this. I won't say what I said to myself. I called Lillie a bad name. I did. I called her a very bad name. Because actually, when Jerry and I first got married, we had this little dog, and she was a full-blooded boxer. And she got out of the gate a few times just because she's like, I want to go see what's out there. And we had this animal control guy that was always like, "You're pit bull." And I was like, "Sir." First off, you're animal control. Okay. But it made me think of that because I lost it on this guy one day. So I loved him finally like having courage and like being like, "What is your problem?"
Well, and it's even better because at this point you pretty much know that Sam is on the spectrum. So just imagining someone who is just like normally kind of like cool and calm.
Oh, yeah.
Just absolutely lose it on this woman over the dog.
Which I think Caden would probably lose it on someone over one of our dogs. So I find it even funnier.
So now we're in part 6. It's called Marriages.
Mm-hmm.
The reviews, they've called this new game Maple World instead of Maple Town. It's Maple World.
Yep. And I looked up the combination of what it would be in the real world. Someone broke down what each game would actually be compared to in our world. And so Maple World is considered an MMORPG. It would have been toned down into like a chill MMO. So it would be more in line with, like you said, Animal Crossing, Stardew, but kind of like it'd be like more toned down like Stardew or Animal, but kind of have more to it like World of Warcraft would have had.
Yeah.
And you've played all of those, so you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. At the same time, our favorite character, Dov, he calls Sadie and says that he's actually getting remarried to another former student.
This is the proof. It's the proof.
And has invited her to the wedding.
Gross.
And he also invites Sam and Marks. So they all decide, yeah, we'll take a road trip and go to this wedding.
This road trip.
It's an 8-hour car ride.
Oh,
Sam's in the back seat. Marks is driving. Sadie's in the front seat. And Sam, like, leans up, like, between their two heads. This is how I imagine this happening. Sam just, like, leans up between their two heads. And he's like, what's going on with y'all? And... and it turns out they had been secretly dating for a year. They kind of have a little bit of back and forth, and Marks confesses that he loves Sadie and she loves him too. And then, like, after they say that, Sam just kind of like sits back in the back seat and just stares out the window. Nothing is said after that.
My favorite is the rest stop, though.
I don't think I included that in my notes. What happened at the rest stop?
Well, no, it's like they stop and like he just sits there like he doesn't. Like he's still not accepting of this really, and he's like,
like just kind of pouting.
Yeah, he just kind of pouts. It's like insignificant, but to me it was important.
So, they get to their hotel wherever they're staying, and Sadie and Sam get into this huge fight about what their next game should be. Sadie wants to make this theater game, and Sam thinks it's a horrible idea. They go to Marks for a tiebreaker, and Marks chooses Sadie's side. This absolutely infuriates Sam. Like,
listen, I kind of feel it though, because I'd be like, are you just taking her side because you guys are together now, or do you genuinely think this is a really good idea?
Yeah.
Like, are you keeping yourself out of an argument when you guys go behind closed doors because you're a couple, or what?
Yeah. Like, you can't trust judgment at that point. Like, I get it.
I mean, I would be the same, though.
Yeah. A little while later, Marks and Sadie buy a house together. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this one chapter, but they start receiving a lot of hate mail and account cancellations for stuff that's happening in Maple World.
Which is, I mean...
When I say that it's basically the real world, but put in like a fantasy world, that's what I mean. You can do whatever you want there, and
so
there's really, it's like a outlaw.
Yeah, every group that exists in the real world has made their way into the game world, is what I will say. Keeping it non-political up in here.
Yes. So just know that they started receiving a lot of hate mail. There's a lot of account cancellations. People are calling for the company to go bankrupt. Like, it's not good.
Right.
So Sam and Sadie actually go on a press tour together for the new game that Sadie created, the theater game I was talking about. But Sadie is like throwing up constantly for like 2 days straight. She's blaming it on food poisoning at a hotel that they had stayed at.
No, girl, I knew what this was.
I did too. But she goes to a pharmacy and gets a pregnancy test, takes it. 2 little blue lines come up.
Yep.
For those that don't know, that means she's pregnant.
Yep.
They go to a photo shoot with a gaming magazine because they're going to be featured, like, the front of, like, the whole magazine, they're going to be about them this issue. After the shoot, the photographer mentions that a mass shooter was at a tech company earlier that day in Venice, California, which is where their offices are.
Yep.
They both have several missed calls from Marks on their cell phone.
Yep.
He had texted them both, "I love you, all okay, just kids talking, and he signs it off TOH, Tamer of Horses. That was his like gamer tag, basically. And that's all they saw. This next part is actually our first and only POV from Mark's.
I'm
So
trying not to cry.
yeah. This part was very, very sad. So like we said, the photographer had mentioned to them that there was a mass shooter at a tech company in Venice, California. Neither of them thought much about it because they're not a tech company. To them, they're not.
They're not. They're a gaming company, but in that time frame, the gaming companies were tech companies.
Yeah, everyone kind of complains. Yeah. So we get Mark's point of view. He's waking up in the hospital and he's kind of having a fever dream / remembering how he ended up in the hospital. He overhears the doctors that he is in a medically induced coma. He was shot 3 times, once in the chest, once in the thigh, and once in the shoulder. 2 young men had showed up at the office to scare Sam because of stuff that was happening in Maple World. They didn't like some of the features in the game. When they had showed up at the office, they had basically cleared everyone out. Marks was literally just talking to them, and he was handling the situation very, very well.
He really was. It was really powerful the way he was trying to diffuse the situation.
He was very calm. He was literally just trying to understand what was happening. He went downstairs so that everyone could escape from the roof and go out like from the ladder on the roof. Basically, he was trying to give everyone time to get out of the building. He gets to know the 2 guys. They're both wearing like masks or bandanas or something to cover their faces.
Something happens though where one of them accidentally says the other one's name or something.
One of their names was Josh.
And it sparks a disagreement between the 2 because they're like, we're not supposed to say our name or whatever.
Yeah, we're not supposed to say our name. We're not supposed to. They mentioned that they don't intend on actually hurting anyone. They just wanted to scare Sam. They hold Sam responsible for Maple World. So they originally came there to talk to him, but since Sam was out of the office, Marks was the only one there.
They kind of don't believe at first that Sam really is gone.
Yeah. And the situation was actually starting to de-escalate. They were doing well until Ant, the one employee from earlier, he comes down because he can't live with himself if he knows something happens to Mark. And there's he can't handle that. So he comes downstairs after everyone else is gone. And Marks had been saying, there's no one here but me. It's just us 3. We can talk this out. And when Ant comes down the stairs, it kind of sets everything off. Like, you lied to us. You said we were the only ones here. And he fires off 5 rounds. 3 into Marks, 1 into Ant, and then another that is self-inflicted. He is in the hospital for 3 weeks. It's Christmas time. Sadie and Sam intermittently come in. This is all from Marks' point of view. She's saying that their new game, Master of Revels, is the best-selling game of the year. He hears that Ant is recovering, and he will be out of the hospital soon. And then he passes. Sorry, that's hitting me hard.
It is,
that
me
chapter
too,
was tough.
That chapter's tough, but I will be honest with you, the part that I actually started crying hasn't happened yet. It is related to the death and it's related to what happened, but it comes in a minute. I'll see if you get there, and if you don't, I'll tell everyone. But it's hard. And I've said this before, I cry at a lot of things, but I don't typically cry at books. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you because I cry at Subaru commercials. But I don't cry at books. And this book had me crying multiple times.
So now we're in part 8. It's called Our Infinite Days. We are at 72 days after the incident and 2 days after the funeral. Simon calls Sam to ask what they want to do at the office. They have their next planned release in August, but obviously no one's really gotten any work done since all of that has happened.
Right.
Sam tries to talk to Sadie, but Sadie is very much closed off at this point. She's basically a shell of herself.
Well, yeah, I would be too. The person that you were in love with, that you're pregnant, by the way.
Yeah.
Just is gone.
Like she didn't even get a chance to tell him that she was pregnant.
Right, or that she loved him or anything. Like he knew she loved him, but you know what I mean? Like to tell someone.
Yeah.
You
know. Sam ends up going to the office to inspect the damage.
This is it.
He walks in and he sees the holes from the bullets, and there's also a giant stain on the concrete.
Yep. It was that's when I lost it. It's like Miss Zevin she's just such an amazing writer that the way she described that, I felt like I was standing in that office and like I was witnessing what he was witnessing, and that is when I got like, it completely gutted me at that point.
Yeah. I was I didn't make a note of the page number on that.
I don't remember.
I was going to see if I could find it. Nope. Okay.
It's okay.
I won't spend too much time on that. But yeah, there's a giant stain on the concrete, and Sadie ends up calling and is like, "Hey, are you at the office?" He's like, "Yeah. We need to figure out what we're gonna do with this." And the conversation basically just goes in circles because no one wants to give definitive answers. No one wants to make decisions about what to do with their friend's stuff. No one wants to go visit those ghosts. No one wants to go in the office and be where he was when he died. Stuff like that.
That would be a very, very hard thing to decide.
Sam eventually does start going back to work at the office along with all the other employees. You okay over there?
Something fell, sorry. I was like trying to catch it. Sorry.
You're good. Sam and Sadie argue over her work not getting done because she physically cannot go back to the office. She knows she cannot handle it. Yeah, and they don't speak for months on end. The game they're working on, though, it's Sadie's game, or a sequel to the game. I forget which one they were working on at this point. But the team that she was in charge of, they basically can't make decisions without her. So Sam is like, Sadie, you have to work somehow. And you're about to go on maternity leave. You're about to have a baby. So after you have this baby, you definitely won't be able to work for a while.
Is this when they're doing Our Infinite Days?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So she gets like a fancy gaming computer and sets up everything at her house so that she can work from her house and not have to go in the office. So she was basically like the first remote worker, if you will.
Ooh.
The expansion gets done a week before her due date. Naomi Watanabe Green is born, and Sam does not go visit.
That has to be hard for him, though. Like, as the reader, I was like, Sam! But this also has to be extremely hard.
Well, because he had heard from other people that had gone to visit that the baby was like a perfect mixture of Marks and Sadie. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't think he can handle that.
That would be hard. So, I think I've said that phrase like 10 times now. I'm sorry, but it would be.
And to backtrack just a little bit, the day of the shooting, Marks was actually in a meeting with this husband and wife duo who had like storyboarded a game idea. Mm-hmm. And when the shooting happened, they had left their portfolio with all the artwork and concepts on Marks's desk.
They had just left.
They had literally just left when these guys walked in. Sam finds that portfolio that Marks had been working on, and he calls them up to have a meeting. The meeting goes very well. No, this is when they start working on Our Infinite Days, so I forget what the other game was.
There's another game that comes, but it's not there yet.
So their names are the worst. They set up shop at the office, and they start to work on their game. It's called Our Infinite Days.
Mm-hmm.
They end up taking over Sadie's office because Sadie's not coming back.
Right.
Charlotte, the wife, shows Sam an Easter egg from the theater game that Sadie had designed. Sam admits that he has never played it. And she's like, oh, really? Then you need to see this. And the Easter egg is a cutscene of a very Asian man who is very clearly supposed to be Marks. And it's reciting the tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow speech from Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
Sam watches it, takes it in. He's like, thanks for showing me that. And then he goes back to his office, and he basically just has a breakdown. Because it's the first time that he's seen Marks in that way.
Yeah.
But this also opens up, for the first time in 2 years, Sam's creativity just absolutely overflows, and he conceives a new game. So in part 9, this is called Pioneers.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you don't know actually whose point of view it is when the chapters first start out. It's from the point of view of a character called Emily.
Mm-hmm.
And Emily is basically living her digital life out on the plains, being a pioneer.
And it's kind of like an extension of Maple World, but
kinda,
like made to look like Oregon Trail.
Yes. And the more Emily plays, the more we realize that it's actually Sadie playing as Emily.
Mm-hmm.
And she figures out that in this world you can like fall in love and marry other characters, whether they're real or not, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up falling in love with this doctor and marrying the doctor in the digital world, like not in real life.
Right.
And through a series of things that this character says, Sadie realizes that this doctor is Sam. And
I love that it goes on for a long time. Like
it's a lot of chapters.
Yeah, it goes on for quite some time, like where he knows that he's talking to Sadie, but it takes Sadie a while to realize that she's talking to Sam, because they end up like having deep conversations before she realizes it's Sam, and like she finds herself always wanting to go back to the game. Like she's always wanting to go back to this character. She's always wanting to like and it's something to do with the screen names that she finally puts it together, and then something he says.
Yeah, Sam has a very specific way of talking, and that's how this character talked. And Sadie finally types, "Is that you, Sam?" And Sam is like, "Yep, it's me." And she gets mad that he tricked her into playing this game, even though he had specifically designed it just so he could have a way to talk to Sadie. But Sadie looks at it as betrayal, and they go back to not talking again.
Yeah, which I was okay. At this point, I was severely mad at Sadie. I don't know how you felt, but it made me angry, because I was like, he made a whole game for you. He made a whole game to pull you out of your depression. He did this. Like, yes, other people are loving it, but he made it for you.
Well, and not only that, like I know everyone deals with grief differently, and I'm not trying to diminish that, but she also should have realized that Sam lost his best friend.
Yeah, like, I mean, I know that you were his, like, they weren't even married yet, were they? I mean, they were might as well have been married. Like, they were
basically
life partners. And I don't want to put like best friend over life partner or vice versa or anything, but they had all been friends for their whole life, essentially. Like, they met Marks when they were like, what, 18?
Yeah.
So this would be gut-wrenching to both of them, and I think this is the time where they should have come together to grieve. And again, grieving is a horrible thing, and everyone does it differently. for sure. And you never know how you're going to grieve until you're in that situation. But I think there could have been a lot of animosity and anger changed up if they had realized that grieving together could have been beneficial to the both of them. And again, I get it, plot, I understand, but like.
Yeah. For part 10, this is the last part, we get a little bit of a time jump. Sadie is 34 now. Her kid is now in nursery school. And she's having brunch with Dov, who's in town.
How do we not get rid of this man already? Like,
I don't know. And we find out that he's already divorced the wedding that they had gone to. He's divorced from that woman, and he's on his third marriage now.
Which should just go to say, I know throughout the book a few times they tried to paint Marks as this playboy lover man, and I think he was just unsure of what he wanted in life. Honestly, Dov is the player.
Yeah.
There's a phrase for him that I won't use, but I think you guys all know what I'd call him.
So while they're at brunch, Dov mentions that he won't be able to teach the senior seminar that Sadie herself had taken, the programming class. And he's like, Sadie, why don't you go teach it? And she's like, I don't know about that.
Which I think that's excellent for that. I mean,
yeah,
women in gaming, come on.
But she eventually agrees. So she does ends up moving back to Boston and teaching that class. While she's there, she goes to a used bookstore and she finds a magic eye book. And this is from earlier in the book. Actually, at the very beginning of the book. They had, when they met at the train station, there was a magic eye poster where it's one of those where if you squint, you can see different things on the poster. Yeah. And it's it does things to your brain. Sam says that he always couldn't get it to work. So when Sadie saw the magic eye book, she thought of Sam and she decides to buy it and mail it to him. Ant,
it's like a peace offering.
Yeah, basically. Ant, one of the Unfair Game employees, he was in Boston and he and Sadie grabbed dinner. He tells her that Sam's grandfather had actually just passed. She knows how much Sam's grandfather meant to Sam, so she tries to call him, but he doesn't answer. She instead calls the pizza place that his grandfather had ran, and they say that there's going to be a memorial service that weekend. So she drops everything and goes to the memorial service.
Which I do like a lot of the things they say throughout the book about the pizza place and his grandparents, and I do really, they're not needed for the story, but I enjoyed them.
Yeah, and there's a whole lot of stuff like that we're not going over just because, one, we don't have time. No one wants to sit here.
And it's fun. Yeah, it's filler and it's fun. And I enjoy his grandma and grandpa and their characters and the role they play because they're very pivotal at moments where they're basically come on, you should enjoy life, get up, yeah. And they talk about being.
And like you said, one of your favorite quotes comes from his grandmother. I haven't even talked about the grandmother.
Yeah.
It's there's whole parts of this book that we're not going over right now.
No, for sure. It's 401 pages.
It leaves more for you to go read for yourself. You're welcome. So she drops everything, goes to the memorial service. They have the service at the Korean Cultural Center. And when Sadie shows up, Sam is just kind of in a daze. He's just going through the motions of greeting everyone, making sure that there's food at the table for, just being there, basically. He's there in body, not in spirit. They hadn't seen each other in 5 years at that point, and the way it's described in the book is Sam sees Sadie. Sadie comes up and tries to talk to him, but I imagine Sam was in such a daze that it just kind of sounded like
teacher.
Yeah. He didn't really talk to her. She was more talking at him. And yeah. And then she leaves and goes back to Boston. It's a very short interaction.
And she's not grieving again, so it makes sense it would be a short interaction, but he's not thinking.
Yeah. A few weeks later, they go over his grandfather's will. He had actually left everything to the grandmother except for the Donkey Kong machine at the pizza place.
Mm-hmm.
That specifically was left for Sadie Green. Sam calls Sadie, lets her know, hey, grandfather left you the Donkey Kong machine. She's ecstatic about it. She sets up a place in her office there at MIT for it, has it shipped
Grandpa knew
there.
what he was doing.
Yeah. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to the very end. Sam and Sadie are approached from a French company about making a third Ishigo, which was their very first game they made together. They want to make a third installment. They're intrigued by the idea, so they take the meeting in NYC. The meeting goes pretty well, and they're just kind of chit-chatting, and when they get to the airport and they are looking at their planes, they just kind of part ways as, like, hopeful friends, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the book ends.
So it's the love story that is not a love story.
This book dealt with a lot.
A lot.
I don't know. I was actually left speechless after I finished it, and I just kind of sat there trying to take it in.
I needed a moment.
And then I texted the group. I was like, I'm not okay.
Oh, I was not okay either. Like, it
was a very powerful book that dealt with a lot of things. It deals with mental illness. It deals with toxic relationship. Mm-hmm. It deals with grief. Mm-hmm. It deals with the spectrum, even though it doesn't explicitly say that. It definitely deals with it.
Oh, for sure. Growing up and the pains of growing up or becoming an adult. The complexities of relationships and like friendships, abusive relationships, friendships with your family. Relationships with your family, because it does talk about, as Bianca said, we didn't go through everything, but it does talk about like Sadie's grandma is funny.
Yeah.
As well. And the complexities of family in the sense of, like, you hear about Marx's family and you hear about Sam's and Sadie's and how they play into all of these things that actually happen. There's a lot. And apparently, I did not know this, but this was Gabrielle Zevin's 10th book.
Yes, I
and
did
this
know
is
that.
The first time that I had ever heard of her was when this book came out. It is now.
I knew her from that A.J. Finkery book.
Oh, okay. I never read that one.
I didn't either, but it was very popular when I was working at the bookstore.
I remember it being popular, but I didn't realize it was the same author.
Yeah.
I think my book club wanted to read it once, and I did not participate. I don't know why, though, because she writes so beautifully. This book has now been translated into 40 different languages. It's just, I'm really surprised that it came out in 2002, I think. And I'm really surprised that it's taken this long to be, like, optioned.
Tomorrow and Tomorrow?
Yeah, didn't it come out in 2002? I mean, 2022. Sorry, excuse me. I meant 22. Yeah. Not 2002. I meant 22. Oh, my brain was like, I know it's only been 2 years, but as well as it was received, I really am surprised it took them 2 years, because you hear of books where it's like just a few days after coming out or 6 months after coming out. They're like, yep. I am now interested in reading more of her works.
And she's actually going to go on tour this summer. Mm-hmm. It looks like her first tour stop's going to be in LA June 24th, and then her last tour stop is going to be in Jackson, Mississippi on July 12th.
Nice.
So if you want to go meet the author, she's got quite a few. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 12 events where you can go meet her across the country.
That's a decent amount, actually.
Yeah.
Lots of great quotes from this book. I had so many that I put down. The 3 I gave you guys were, like, the most important to me. But, oh yeah, like I said, I came across some people that were like, I did not like this book. And I'm sorry, I get it. Some people just don't like what they don't like, but I don't understand.
Well, and if you want some more fun, if you go to Gabrielle Zevin's website, I didn't mention this, but the very first game that Sadie in the book programmed is a game called Emily Blasters.
You did mention it.
It's a poetry game where you put the lines of poetry in the correct order. They brought that to life, so you can go to the author's website and actually play the game for real if you so choose.
Have you tried it yet?
I did, but I don't do poetry like that. I'm not a huge poetry person, so I was a little lost.
I enjoy some poetry, so maybe.
Yeah. So now to our last segment. Recent reads and acquisitions.
Reads and acquisitions.
I'm going to let you go first because I just talked a lot. I need some water. Give me one moment.
Moment. I actually just bought a book, and now I'm looking around for it. What did I do with it? It was poetry, too!
Of course it was.
Anyway. I also purchased. I was very excited. It has fancy on the book, on the pages. What am I trying to say?
Sprayed edges?
Sprayed edges. Why my brain forgot those words. But I bought the Rainbow Rowell. It's a book of stories called Scattered Storms. And the sprayed edges have like the continuation of the cover. It's so pretty.
Nice.
And it's got like clouds with rain coming from them. I haven't read it yet. I just got it. It's a hardback, so not my preferred, but the sprayed edges, I was like, I must have this. Because I've seen the sprayed edges for this book, but I've only seen them in like red or blue. I have never seen it where it actually had like a continuation of the clouds on them. Yeah. So I really liked that one. And I'm trying my best to look up this poetry book because I feel like it's a pretty big, like when people are posting like poetry online or like on Instagram recently, this is the author that they're always like showing.
To start with an R.
Yes.
Where's Stevie? Stevie does poetry.
Stevie! I hate you!
Poetry book author begins with R. I can see the books in my head.
Yeah. I think I left it downstairs, and so now I'm like, dang it.
Okay. You'll think of it as soon as we finish recording.
Oh, absolutely. I'll go downstairs and be like, yeah. Best of Poetry 2023. Is it on here? So that's what I purchased, acquisitions wise. I'm going to keep looking while I tell you about my reads. Recently, I have read, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I am trying to do a continuation of the Bridgerton series. So I read 4 and 5. I also I just did my little thing the other day, so I have all my books on my phone. I also read Home is Where the Bodies Are. I loved it. You were right.
I knew you would. That one was really good.
It was really good, and I would say if you have read Jeneva before and you didn't really like her, she's another person I feel like we mentioned a lot. But if you have read her before and you didn't really like her, I would give her another try.
Because I think everyone here knows I hated The Perfect Marriage. Home is Where the Bodies Are was such an improvement. It was so good.
Did you read One of Us is Dead?
Yes, I just read that one not too long ago.
I think that one's really good too. But one was initially good. That was like my favorite. But I think this is my new favorite.
Oh, really?
Of hers? Yeah. It dealt with a lot. Like, there's a lot that going on here. And I did not see in One of Us is Dead. I kind of figured out Well, kind of, sort of. Not like exact. But I kind of figured that one out. And this one, genuinely not who I thought was going to be the culprit of everything.
Time out. Is your poetry person Rupi Kaur?
How do you spell it? R-U-P-I?
Yeah. K-A-U-R.
K-A-U-R. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. I bought.
That's how I know that one.
I bought one of her. So I went to a bookstore and I bought one of her books as a gift for a friend of mine who actually at the first of the year I told you guys about the overthinking book that my friend bought me. And so I thought she would also enjoy this. I bought her. Oh my goodness, hang on. I'll see the cover in just a second. I'm clicking through all her books. She doesn't have a whole lot of them. She has 1, 2, 3, 4. So I bought my friend the book Homebody.
Okay.
And I bought myself The Sun and Her Flowers. I've already read some of it, and some of them will put you in your feels. This woman's way with words are just absolutely fantastic. If you like poetry at all, or just sometimes you need like a reminder of life. There's also, she has some celebration, some of the poems in here are celebrations of love as well. So I highly recommend it. It's fantastic. I would like the rest of her books.
So she's very popular. Milk and Honey is like the #1 book. Mm-hmm. Like, we could not keep that in stock at the bookstore.
I don't doubt it. I was really surprised too finding both of these books of hers in the English section over here in one of the, not surprised because obviously she sells well, but I feel like her books go fast everywhere.
Yeah.
So so that's my other acquisition. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was like, I will find it in a minute. And then I have 2 more I want to mention really quick. One of them really fast in kind of the same vein as Home is Where the Bodies Are. I think you might actually enjoy it. It's called Young Rich Widows. It does the thing that One of Us is Dead does, where each chapter is a different woman that is part of this, and then they all kind of come together in a way. It's the book I was mentioning earlier that has 4 authors. You would never be able to tell. I didn't know as I was reading it. I had no clue that this was written by 4 different people.
Okay.
But that's called Young Rich Widows. If you have Audible, it's also on Audible, and each woman is narrated by a different woman. So I enjoyed that part as well because it kind of it actually separates them in a way in your head. So that was fantastic. And then I already talked about this on our TikTok, but I need a moment for the absurdness of this. Let me give you the full title of this book.
Okay.
Oh, it is called Overtake My Heart, Thick Rick Races for Love, Book 1 of 69 in the Daniel Ricciardo romance series.
I'm just going to put Overtake My Heart on the show notes.
Oh, you don't have to put all that. I had to tell the people all of that. Please don't worry about putting all that.
Who's the author?
The author is Anita Driver. Get it?
I need a driver.
It's Anita. Yeah, I need a driver. I'm glad you caught that. If you don't know who Daniel Ricciardo is, he is a Formula One driver. He rides currently for Visa Cash App Racing Bulls, or just Cash App RB.
I just looked up the whole title. This is hilarious.
Yes, this is hilarious, and clearly it is meant to be a funny. It's meant to not be taken serious. Okay.
Thick Rick.
Oh my God. It's only 53 pages. I don't think it's actually 53 pages, but it's 50 pages. Okay. It's not long.
The cover of this book is taking me out.
I know. Oh, go look at the cover of book 2. Just go look at the cover of book 2.
The pole sitter always rings twice? Excuse me? A love story as timeless as Fernando Alonso.
There are so many F1 references in these books. Listen, they're hysterical. They are hysterical. They are considered erotic fiction.
I can't get over Thick Rick.
Listen, I don't know if you actually watched the TikTok of me explaining this book. But this is the one where she talks, and listen, Anita Driver is a pen name. I keep saying she, but I have found out apparently Anita Driver is actually a man.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, okay. So she, ma'am is how I address Anita Driver because I feel like it's a persona. Miss Ma'am talks about Daniel Ricciardo's neck way too much. I am now invested in these for the comedy that is this book. Like, I mean, you can just read the synopsis and see what I'm talking about. It's hysterical. This book is hysterical. It's like $2. I think it may be even free on Kindle Unlimited, but I was like, you're getting my $2 because I laughed so hard I peed my pants. And speaking of poetry, there are footnotes in this book, especially if you're on Kindle, where you can tap on the footnotes. And sometimes it's explaining something in F1 that maybe, like if you're not a fan of, maybe you would understand what it means. And it's done in a very polite way. However, there is also footnotes that when you click on them, it's a haiku about Daniel's neck.
Okay.
I just couldn't. I've never in all of my years ever had somebody look at me and be like, oh my God, did you see his neck? So, if you want a good laugh and you don't mind a little erotica, you need this in your life. Especially if you're an F1 fan. I found out about these books from an F1 content creator that I love. He found them, and a lot of people are giving him crap. Oh, listen, it's not actually, his name is This Is James. James is not actually the author. I think if he were, he would tell us. But there are people, since he found out about these and has, like, shared them with people, they're like, it's okay, James, you can tell us you're Anita. She even has rewritten some children's books into books about Formula One drivers. For example, there is, for you ladies and gentlemen that know Formula One, my favorite is Charles Leclerc and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Monaco Grand Prix, a book of sadness and disappointment for children.
What in the world?
There is also Stop, Drop, and Stroll, the Lance Stroll-inspired guide to fire safety for kids. If you know, you know. And my new one that I have just purchased, Zen and the Art of Formula Racing, meditative poetry from the Zen masters of the paddock. This may be my new one-click buy author for the absurdity of all of this. Apparently there are going to be 69 of these Thick Rick books. That number is not lost on me.
I saw that and I was like, oh no.
There are currently only 2 though, so.
Anita better be writing instead of driving.
Right, Anita, stop watching them races and write. The last one was done in 2023, but the Zen poetry book and One of the the places you'll blow, the tragic tale of Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari. That one just came out too, which is a play on the places you will go.
Yes.
These are all fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anita has 6 works. I own them all. I purchased them with my own monies. No Kindle Unlimited.
Well, any other recent reads that you would like to mention?
No, because those were just too much for me.
Okay. I'll go over my purchases first, or acquisitions, whichever one. I did buy 3 new ones because I went to Barnes & Noble and I have no self-control. I got 2 paperbacks because they were buy one, get one half off.
Oh, okay.
The first one is called The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence.
Oh, yeah.
2 strangers find themselves connected by a vast and mysterious library containing many wonders and still more secrets in this powerfully moving series opener from the international bestselling author of Red Sister and Prince of Thorns. And, Miranda, it's a floppy book. It flops.
Yes. So I bought a hardback and you bought a floppy book?
I also bought a hardcover, but I'll get to that.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, what?
The other paperback is called Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. It's a historical fiction book set in London of 1862. Sue Trinder, orphaned at birth, grows up among petty thieves, fingersmiths, under the rough but loving care of Mrs. Suxby and her family. Families in quotes. One day, Gentleman, an elegant con man, arrives with a proposition for Sue. If she works as a maid to Maud Lillie, a gentlewoman, and aids Gentleman in her seduction, they will all share in Maud's vast inheritance. With dreams of repaying her adopted family, Sue agrees to the plan. Once in, however, Sue begins to pity Maud and care for her in unexpected ways. But nothing is as it seems in this Dickensian novel of thrills and reversals. I don't know why that word was so hard to say. And then I purchased this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous hardcover. It's called Heavenbreaker by Sarah Wolfe. I need you. I'm going to send you a picture of the sprayed edges. Gorgeous. It is
Ooh, I'm looking at a picture of the sprayed edge. So you got the deluxe limited edition, it sounds like.
Okay, good for me. The back says, I cannot stop death, but I can make it think twice.
448 pages, this chonker.
I know. And the text is not big.
Oh,
but
well, that one just led me to another book with sprayed edges. I'm going to have to send you.
This will probably be my next read. And then I got a book from the library. It is called Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak.
Oh, yeah.
You know about this one? Okay. Oh, I just got the one you sent me. I've seen that all over, but people have said that one's kind of bad. That's why I didn't pick it up.
Gorgeous.
It is very pretty. But yeah, so Hidden Pictures. Fresh out of rehab, Mallory Quinn takes a job in the affluent suburb of Springbrook, New Jersey, as a babysitter for Ted and Caroline Maxwell. She is to look after their 5-year-old son, Teddy. Mallory immediately loves this new job. She lives in Maxwell's pool house, goes on nightly runs, and has the stability she craves. She sincerely bonds with Teddy, a sweet, shy boy who is never without his sketchbook and pencil. His drawings are rather unusual. But one day he draws something different, a man in a forest dragging a woman's lifeless body. As the days pass, Teddy's artwork becomes more sinister and his stick figure evolves into more complex, lifelike sketches, well beyond the ability of any 5-year-old. Mallory begins to suspect that these are glimpses of an unsolved murder from long ago, perhaps relayed by a supernatural force lingering in the forest behind the Maxwells' house. But now that I've read that synopsis again, now I think this is going to be my next book. I don't know.
I am here for this one.
So those are my acquisitions, whether from the library or personal. Oh, wait, no, I have 2 more.
2 more, go for it.
Because I checked out a Kindle from the library as well. No, pull up the menu. Thank you. So I also got on Kindle Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. This is a Reese's Book Club pick that I've been meaning to get to.
I've heard about this one. I have also not gotten to it yet.
Yeah. I actually tried to start it a little while ago, but then I realized I needed to start reading tomorrow. So I put it on hold. The other one I ordered, one of my coworkers said that this was a really good book and that it did have a little bit of spice, but I could skip it. And I was like, okay. It's Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren.
Yep.
But she was absolutely raving about this book. Like, it was so good. So I was like, okay, I'll order it on a Kindle. So yeah. Let me type those in the notes real quick before I forget.
No, you're fine. We talked about that one. We almost most Christina Lauren. Everything I know of Christina Lauren is got some no in it.
Yeah, I figured it. She did, or they did, because that's 2 women.
Oh, the first Christina Lauren I ever read, I was like, whoa! Like, it was when I was like first. I don't want to say first getting into romance, because I've kind of always read them, because, again, I'm one of the girlies whose grandma had all the Harlequins, and I was taking them when I shouldn't be. But when I was, like, getting back into romance as an adult, and I joined that major romance book club, and they were like, oh, you need to read this Christina Lauren. I was like, oh, this is spicy. He was like one of those, why is it spicy? Like,
well, my coworker told me that these are very skippable scenes. So
yes, I'm gonna
trust her. I'll trust her judgment. As for my recent reads, we already mentioned One of Us is Dead. I gave that 4 stars, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm so proud.
That is a vast improvement over Perfect Marriage.
I agree. And what's funny is I think One of Us is Dead came before Perfect Marriage, so it kind of makes me wonder, like, no offense, Jeneva, we love you, but what happened?
Another recent read is Zara by S.J. Jones. That was the Eastern Cinderella inspired book.
I wasn't familiar with this when you sent it to me.
I gave it 3 stars. It was okay. It was very, very complicated. The magic and God system.
Is that the one that you were like, I feel like I need a chart. I feel like I need.
No, I don't think it was that one.
Oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm confusing 2 books, but I remember you were talking about, like, you felt like you needed, like, a chart of who everyone was.
Oh, no, that was the Viking one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
No, this one's completely made up, not based on anything.
But you still felt like you needed a chart.
I needed something. It was very complicated. I gave it 3 stars because the actual plot was decent. I was invested in what was happening, but I honestly don't think I'm going to continue with the series when the rest of them come out. Okay. Or if I do, I'm going to have to reread this one, like, at least 2 more times. And then the last one I'm going to mention that I literally just finished last night is A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. It is I'll just say it's a thriller, because I think thriller is pretty good. Basically, this woman, she grows up and she is a psychologist, and her background is that as a child, her father was put in prison for being a serial killer. And now it is 20 years later, and other girls are starting to disappear just like they did 20 years ago. So it obviously can't be him because he is in prison. So she thinks that maybe it's a copycat.
Right.
So she's just kind of caught up in solving the mystery of what is happening to these girls and also dealing with her past traumas. So yeah, It was good. I gave it 4 stars. It was missing 1 star because there's one part of the thing where it's supposed to be like, ooh, it's this person. I did not understand why I was supposed to think it was that person. I still don't understand.
Was it a red herring person? But okay.
But the reasoning that they gave for that person even being involved in everything, I didn't follow the reasoning. So that knocked it a star off for me. I was like, this makes no sense. So yeah, that's all of my recent reads and acquisitions.
Nice.
We will, for July, are you okay with me telling the boys and girls what we're going to do for July?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Because I think it's different, and if people want to go ahead and participate, they should check it out.
Yeah. So I forget what exactly goes on in July, but we found out that in July there's things happening with tattoos.
We were looking for like different holidays. We didn't necessarily want to do like 4th of July because we were like, so we looked up, I think, just random, like what holidays, like was it Poetry Month? Was it this month? And we found, you go ahead and explain and I'll tell them what we found.
Yeah. But anyway, so whatever we found, it has to do with tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have any tattoos, but Miranda loves tattoos.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9.
I thought you had more than that.
No, it's just 2 of them are very, very big. So like, I consider the whole arm, my Alice arm, which is like from shoulder to elbow, I consider that 1.
Oh, okay.
Even though it was like 3 sessions. And then like the big one on my leg, I consider that 1, even though that was like another 3 sessions. So okay. I look at them as in pieces. Like, oh, this is 1, this is 1. Yeah.
So we're going to cover tattoos, obviously. And the book that we've chosen is called Painted People. Yeah. And it is by Matt Lauder. Mm-hmm. And it's it basically goes through the history of tattoos and how did they start and how did cultures, like, how is it significant to each culture? And it just goes through the history of the world through tattoos. And we thought that was pretty cool.
We did. So we chose this because National Tattoo Day is celebrated annually on July 17th and provides an opportunity for tattoo enthusiasts and artists alike to come together in recognition of this timeless art form.
So that will be next month's episode. So go ahead and start reading that if you want to join in on the discussion with us. Yeah.
Very interesting.
And it's just something different for us.
It is.
I'm very excited about it. In the meantime, if you want more content from us, you can follow us on Instagram at Bells with Books Podcast. You can also follow me personally on Instagram at Style and Freak. Miranda as well at, just type in Mom's a Nerd. She'll come up.
Yep.
Same thing for TikTok, Bells with Books Podcast. I'm also Style and Freak over there. I believe you're also Mom's a Nerd on TikTok as well. And tell us what's going on in the Place to Be Nation world, Miranda.
So actually right now, if you come and join us in the Facebook group, which I would still love to see more of you in there, it's called Place to Be. We are having a tournament breaking down cartoons of our youth and trying to decide what is the top cartoon. And I know we have people that are on all ages that listen. So there's literally cartoons from like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and current day. So we're going through that now. Pretty fresh into it at this moment. So if you come and join, you have plenty of time to really make a difference in it. And I think that's fun. We do different things like that all the time. Lots of podcasts here on Place to Be Nation Pop Experience, as well as the other the family feeds, as I call them, that partake. The website also, if you are a person that used to go check out placetobenation.com and you were like, where did it go? Well, there were some server issues. They have been fixed and the website is back up and running. There are lots of previous shows that maybe they're not on anymore, but we still have them archived for you to listen to. Lots of different articles that you can read. Maybe we'll start getting some book stuff up there. We do have a few book things up there, but there's Disney reviews. I really feel like there's something for everyone here. So please go check all that out. Please make sure you are following both the Instagram and the TikTok. I feel like Bianca and I do a really good job of like keeping content different on both of them. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of get tired of following somebody on all platforms and it's the same content on every single one of them. So I feel like what we do is unique. And it's also because Meta screwed us. But
I was like, I mainly run the Instagram and Miranda runs the TikTok. So I feel like you get a good stream of consciousness from both of us.
Oh, for sure. But I kind of like that. At first we were like, oh, dang it. Like, but in the end, it kind of turned out to be like blessing in disguise because we get to give you different types of content on both platforms. So please check both of those out. We've had an increase in our TikTok followers, and let me just say thank you. We've also had a massive increase in our just people watching the TikToks. So thank you. Because some of these, they look like they only take like a couple minutes to throw up there, but they don't. Some of them take a good bit of time for me to make the little different things or get the book covers or whatever. So I really appreciate people taking the time to like them and pay attention and go forward. Of course, you can reach out to either one of us if you would like to comment, recommend a book you would like us to discuss, add to the conversation that we're having on either platform. So please feel free to do that. We welcome that. We understand we're still small, so it's okay. But don't be afraid. If you would like to join the conversation but not be mentioned, just tell us that as well. So, as always, we thank you so much for staying here and listening to us talking and jabbering and crying. But please come back next month for what should be a really interesting episode. And always keep reading.